Red Light Fever. That was
Red Light Fever.
Sounds like a Sunday.
Cat Scratch Fever.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, welcome back to another episode of This Korean Life. This is our Bungay episode, featuring our new and one-time off producer, Andy.
Thanks for having me.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
You are hangover free this time.
Yes.
He was.
Last time was something else.
That was the day you got pinched on a bike.
Yeah.
Got pulled over. Yeah.
I think I had more sleep that night though.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What were you doing last night?
I just couldn't sleep.
Ah,
Yeah, it's just weird.
too much cafe.
Twiddling my thumbs at like, I think 4 or 5 a.m.
Oh, Christ.
Worried about what the father-in-law was thinking in the garden there.
When he gardens, what does he think about?
You'll plant all the speakers and shit
Is he
around
gonna
there.
try and come farming in New Zealand or what?
He's shoveling soil. I'm like, what's he thinking when he's doing this?
Honey, he's going down pretty deep. What's he burying?
Yeah.
Family looks at you menacingly. And we have in studio Brian Aparicio-Rascon.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad, man. We glad to have you in, and apologies for the humidity and lack of aircon.
That's
But Andrew,
actually not
really
too
pleasant.
bad.
Listen, if there
this
was
is
a
not
day,
bad at all.
if there is a day for a podcast, this dude, we've had some greasy podcasts in here.
Oh,
And
especially middle of the
Getting
summer.
it with blood stains.
Oh, dude, and I
Just
yeah.
leaking.
I was just
Just
like middle of the
broccoli
summer during Jangma. I can imagine this could get quite swampy.
Oh, dude, it is really.
Does that
really
Rascon
bad.
have any French in it or no?
No, it's
Not how I say it, Rascal.
No, it's Aparicio-Rascon. But unless you talk to my grandma, then she said Aparicio-Rascon.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Coming straight out of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have a couple questions for you. I'm gonna have to ask you to
Alright.
to choose.
All right.
Tennessee's famous for music.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elvis or Dolly Parton?
Dolly. It's not even a question. Not even close.
Okay. Texas is famous for food. How does Tennessee barbecue and moon pies stand up to Korean barbecue and
Okay,
choco
well-
pies?
Well,
Moon pies.
the choco pie came from moon pies.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, there's I think it was a lotte
That's a
guy
fact?
or I can't remember. Some executive was in Atlanta, I want to say, and he had a moon pie and wanted to recreate that in Korea, and hence the choco pie came.
Just
But,
looking it up
There's
now.
there's a
Never
lot
heard
of
Yeah.
there's a lot of stuff that Korea wants to recreate.
Oh yeah, I can't remember when
With a little twist
when it
on it.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we also have a saying back home. Have you guys ever heard of RC Cola?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
Is that Rascon? Rascon Cola?
Oh, I wish God. if I came from cola money, I would not be sitting here talking to you guys. But no, so we got a redneck 7-course meal. There's a 6-pack of RC Cola and a moon pie.
Beautiful.
It says on
Oh,
here
yeah.
they go hand in hand.
A red. A red.
A redneck 7-course meal.
That's like an Irish 7
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah,
Is a 6-pack
Six-
of RC Cola?
and a moon pie.
I thought RC Cola came and died already.
Oh no,
That
it's
was like the no brand cola. I thought
It could be, but as
disappeared.
far as I know, it's still around back
Oh
home.
wow.
So
Yeah.
sticking to drinks.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels or Mountain Dew?
Oh, both.
Mixed.
Well, see now, Mountain Dew was originally a whiskey mixer made in Knoxville, Tennessee, where I went to college, and the stuff you have now, I would not mix that with whiskey. It's I could imagine that being quite nasty.
Dude,
Well-
have you seen the new flavor? Or this is going
Yeah.
a few years back, but they introduced new flavors of Mountain Dew.
Oh, they got tons of them now.
Hold on, and did you see the online? They had people vote for the name.
Yeah,
Do you know what the number one name was?
which one?
Hitler did nothing wrong.
Oh fuck!
Was
me.
the number
Jesus.
one choice for
That
like
was-
10
See,
million
That was
votes?
voted in Tennessee.
I'd imagine it's probably a nationwide thing. But it's the same thing as like in the UK when
The
they
other
had
one's
the
like
new,
Grandma, what were you gonna say?
yeah,
Grandma
where they had the
Squirts.
research vessel and they named it Bodie
Bodie
McBoatface.
McBoatface.
Yeah,
And then they had to follow through with it, and then they.
New Zealand, Horsey McHorseface, or was that, or that might have been Australia.
it was
too.
in the only one that I know is the UK had a
Bodie
polar
McBoatface.
research vessel.
Yeah.
Was it?
Was it a tugboat
Yeah.
that takes out the?
Oh no, it was a research vessel because it got renamed the Sir John Attenborough, David Attenborough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the little side boat It's
Yeah.
still called Bodie McBoatface.
Yeah, that one got the name
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they had to
yeah.
acknowledge it.
Well, man, there's lots of online, kind of votes
Yeah.
where
Oh, you-
the internet trolls just go in and
Oh,
ruin
you
it.
can't trust the internet, man. The second you tell the internet, pick something.
The NHL All-Star game.
Yeah.
The best fighter in the league, who's got like 2 points in 10 years, ended up the All-Star of the All-Star game.
Oh,
They couldn't
yeah,
say
yeah.
no because it was fan voting. The guy's
Yeah.
6'8", 260 pounds. What's going on
That's
here? Everybody
brilliant.
rolled with it.
Yeah.
This guy who would normally get like 4 or 5 minutes a game ends up in the All-Star game.
What, is he a goon or
And the
something?
NHL, yeah, he's a full goon. And the NHL tried to cancel it, and they were like, "No, you put it out, but you're not doing it how you're supposed to." No, that's what it was for. And they got in, and he became the MVP. And it turns out, he's got the smallest salary, he's got lots of kids, whatever, and he won the MVP, got a new car, got $1 million, and like completely changed his life.
That's awesome.
And they said this is better than the All-Star guys going because they don't need any of that shit.
Yeah.
And it ended up being a pretty good feel-good story.
Another vote. There's one in, I think, one in Slovakia where they had a new bridge and they asked the residents online, "Can you vote and make a new name?" Winning name, was it like Peace Bridge or Rainbow Bridge? No, Chuck Norris.
Oh, yes.
Chuck Norris.
It nearly happened
God,
with our
that-
national flag as well.
Oh, right.
Some
Yeah.
of the designs that like amateurs and kids did got more votes than like professionally designed
Wasn't there a
flags.
Yeah. They.
That's going to get
if-
weirder with the AI stuff now.
Yeah.
Oh man, if you go into John Oliver's show covered it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he
laser
showed
kiwi.
all the different designs. There was one of like a kiwi with laser beams coming out of its
Yeah.
eyes.
It's become like a cult flag. So at sports games, you'll see those
Yeah.
designs.
and then the country canceled the cancel redesign, right?
We paid millions to not do anything.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest internet troll victory has to be Chex Pamat, the onion flavored Chex here in Korea.
Oh, wait, yeah, I remember that.
Dude, they that started in like 2002. Who makes Chex? What is it? Kellogg's?
Oh,
Yeah, Kellogg's. They said like, "Hey, okay, everyone vote," and they had these huge campaigns. Like, is it in the commercials where they pitted like the evil how do you say like spring onion man versus choco man? Like, all the kids are gonna vote chocolate. A few kids voted chocolate, and like a million internet trolls were like, pa, green onion. And then, dude, they canceled it. They said, "Fuck you, take your chocolate." And Koreans protested them for years. And we just had at the beginning of what do you call? Of COVID, they released the Pamat.
I brought them home, and they said, "You guys eat onion cereal?"
Dude, that was like a 20 year
yeah,
give us our
flavor.
fucking Pamat.
I remember seeing them and thinking to myself, like, this can't be a real thing, not knowing the background behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my mind, I was like, well, now what? Who's asking for this? Like, what marketing genius said, "Hey guys, great idea for breakfast cereal"?
Well, the Koreans voted on that, and then they tried
Yeah.
it in Japan too, and they're like, "Take the chocolate," but I don't know if they rebelled against it. Oh, sorry, I got one more. The Grand Old Opry, or Hop to a spit on that thing.
Jesus Christ, the Grand Old Opry.
Okay.
Oh man, that Hoktui thing. That's proof
She
that
put
the
Tennessee
internet.
on the map,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. Oh no, Dolly put us on the map, friend. She just she exists.
Dude, she's blowing up.
Yeah,
She's huge.
good for her making some money. You know?
Christ. Can you
Oh.
imagine one drunk interview? You're familiar?
Yeah.
Nate?
I'm not familiar with what you
Yes.
guys are
Dude,
talking
someone
about.
in her.
How have you?
One of those street things.
Yeah,
whatever.
it's like some influencer came up to a drunk
okay.
lady, or well, she's not a lady. She's like 20, 21.
She's older now. She's a public school teacher.
No, that's been debunked. She did an interview where she shut all that down. She went on some podcast and
That wasn't the Hot Tua girl?
no, it is the Hoktui girl,
Yeah.
but the internet made up a whole bunch of rumors about her that she was a school teacher.
Oh, she's not?
No, she worked at a spring factory.
Huh.
Yeah, she went on a podcast and straightened all that out. She goes, "Okay, so are you a school teacher?" She goes, "No, I've never been a school teacher.
Huh.
I work at a spring factory," and she cleared up a whole bunch of other things.
Anyways, they asked her, what's something that you do to your boyfriend that makes him go crazy? She's like, "You gotta spit on that thing." And dude, it blew up on the internet.
I can do it, yeah.
All
can
the
imagine
memes,
happening.
the
Yeah.
memes are hilarious. Haktuna Matata, and they got
Yeah.
Timon and Pumbaa going along.
It's pretty wild. Because
She woke up the next morning and everywhere.
she has merch now. She has like hats and shirts, doesn't she?
Well, that's what I thought. the story that I read originally was that she was a teacher, had to quit her job, this, that, whatever. She was depressed, blah, 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 and her dad said, well, let's take advantage of the platform and make some money or whatever. And then it's just,
Dad signed her up for OnlyFans.
then it's just gone wild.
That was another one. They said that her dad was a preacher. No, her dad isn't a preacher, just some dude.
Huh.
I guess preachers can be just dudes. But yeah, no, he's not a preacher or anything. Yeah.
Wild.
This Korean life.
What part of Tennessee are you from?
I was born in Texas, but when I was about 8 years old or so, we moved to East Tennessee. Dad worked in the nuclear industry at the time, and we moved around a lot. To finish a job, and we'd move to another place in Texas, finish that job, and we moved to Florida for about 9 months, back to Texas, and then we ended up in Tennessee. And Dad finished a job, and it sounded like we were going to go off to another place so Dad could do another job. And by that point, Mom and Dad had 4 of us. And they're like, well, we need to find a more permanent home. So Dad he started working in a furniture factory. And that kept us in East Tennessee until now. Yeah, so a small town called Athens, but
It's a friendly city.
it is French. So you went to the internet.
I did. Yes.
How far from Nashville?
It's on the spot. I can't remember exactly. It's either 3 or 6 hours, and it's a drive. I'm gonna say 6 hours. Although any Tennessean who's listening to this is screaming at me, screaming at the thing, going, you
son of a
going, you
bitch."
dumbass! What are you talking about? Are you going through Knoxville? Because if you go through Knoxville, of course it's 6 hours. You ain't got to go there.
Well, the emails will come flooding in.
Yeah,
Oh man.
that's what it's gonna be. But
Direct all emails to RC Cola. Brian at RC Cola.
BAparicio@rccola.com. Yeah.
Oh, good times.
Oh yeah.
I was just going to ask if you were anywhere close to Nashville there, and if you've been back, how it's kind of transformed the last.
I've only been to Nashville 3 times because it's quite far away. It's we went there once in 8th grade as part of our government class. They take us over there to go see the state capitol and see a session of the legislative body because if there's one thing that all 8th graders want to see, it's government in action.
Yeah.
Oh, God, we were so happy. But now the other time I went to a Titans game, and when I went to Nashville, last time I went was to get my documents to come teach out here.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to go out there to get the apostle to come out.
You had to 15 years ago. You had to get an apostle to
Yeah.
come?
Yeah, that's what I had to do as well.
Really?
It's 5 hours, 15 minutes.
5 hours. Oh yeah, there you go.
So you're right in the ballpark there.
Oh, there you go. So, great job bringing this producer.
I probably didn't know a ton about it until they got the hockey team.
Oh, the Predators. Boy.
I mean, I knew a little bit about music in the area, but once they got the hockey team, and then now it's the Vegas of.
Well, that's one of the nicknames is Nash Vegas.
Yeah, and it's just wild now. That's all the bachelorette parties, all the everything goes there now.
I haven't been there since all that's happened, but it is a fun town.
It is blowing. Well, I think Nashville was in the finals there 1 or 2 years, weren't they?
Yeah, against.
And that's when I think
Roman Josie at the top of his game.
Yeah, was it against the Penguins? I think.
Yeah, maybe. But that got so much coverage then, and I think that opened a lot of people's eyes to Nashville because the party they called it Smashville.
Yeah.
And the party that was
Tutu played there. Didn't he?
Party going on there before the games was just insane. Like never seen before stuff, and it was the wildest place. And now I just think it's just kind of carried on from there. It's just
the Predators are incredibly popular back there. I'm sure you guys have heard the term honky tonk. It's like a country bar.
Yeah.
It's also some parts of Nashville, or I think maybe the stadium is referred to as hockey tonk. And we also have traditions in at I think it's Bridgestone Arena. I'm sure you guys know about
catfish.
The catfish. Yeah. Yeah. So years ago, whenever Detroit came to town, I guess there's fish vendors in Nashville or people that sell, octopuses and all that stuff. But they were told to check IDs for anybody buying octopuses. If they were from Michigan, they weren't supposed to sell them. And
there was definitely one time that the octopus made it on there.
Oh yeah, I think that's what it was. And so they don't. When we went to Detroit, they wouldn't sell catfish to anybody with a Tennessee license in response to it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Now that's a wives' tale. I'm sure Andy could confirm or deny it or just not care about it. But yeah,
That's funny. I seen the video of the guy sneaking the octopus into the game.
yeah.
Oh, dude, he wrapped it all around his leg, had it in like 3 bags, and then he
hardest thing to
walks
conceal.
out and tosses it on the ice.
Oh god, yeah. Hockey tradition.
I'll tell you, we went to a baseball game, the Lotte Giants game, there 2 weeks ago in Hyundai the other night, and my nieces and nephews, and there's no security checks, nothing. You just bring backpacks full of whatever you want. Nobody checks anything. Yeah.
It's not even. You don't even have to bring it. You don't have to sneak your own beers because they're $2
Yeah, they're selling
at
them
the mark.
outside. Yeah, that was one of those. Like,
But the prices are reasonable. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
oh, that's
the
true.
prices are in the stadium and out of the stadium is almost the same. It
Yeah.
was cheaper. The tall boys at the Sajik there were 2,500,
Yeah.
which is still 4 for $10 without even a discount. You buy one at a time.
like,
So
that's one of those kind of, I don't know if I'm going to say culture shocks, or one of the things you see when you come out here is back home you're used to stadium prices for beers or food. You come out here to a ball game or something like that, and you go in there and you're used to strictly no outside food or drink. You come in, they're selling
Like movie
snacks
theaters
and
too,
booze and
yeah.
everything
you bring
outside.
Costco pizzas and a cooler.
Yeah.
The guys at Sajik bring a cooler, a 2-man holding cooler full of soju and beer.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Like, I think theirs is they just don't want to get up to go into extras every 20,
because
30
not
minutes.
only is it expensive at games, you got to stand in line for.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I love the hell out of baseball, but a Korean baseball game is significantly more exciting for the fan than
Oh,
than a
it's
game back
wild.
home is. I mean, cheerleaders, for goodness sake.
Oh, they don't have cheerleaders at home. I just realized.
Yeah.
Huh.
Baseball games at home are a snooze fest. I went to a San Francisco Giants game with my uncle there 10 years ago, and $15 beer, $12 hot dog, and 20 minutes later you're sleeping. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's just quiet. There's nothing. The only games that used to be a little bit fun were those Atlanta Braves games back in the day.
Oh
with
yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah,
The whole stadium, you're like, whoa, what's going on here?
Oh, love me some Braves baseball. Absolutely
those
love
used
it.
to be wild, but otherwise,
as a person who's gone to quite a few of those games, the chop gets a bit old. Like you're going into the seventh inning, like, all right, let's do another chop, and in the first, second inning, it is everybody. Oh. By the time you get to the seventh inning, you get a bunch of people like, I don't give a fuck. Especially you're down 7 runs. Like, listen, this chop ain't bringing the game back. Let's just wrap this thing up.
yeah,
I want to beat the traffic.
we were there. It was 12-4 for Lotte. It was just nonstop dancing and action, and the kids had an
Yeah.
absolute blast.
The rally caps too, where they
Yeah, do
get
they
the
still do the trash bag on the head?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
yeah, that
Seventh
like,
inning
first time I
stretch.
saw it, I was like that beats our rally cap. Like you just turn your baseball cap inside out. Like that's much better to take a trash bag and put it on your head
And clean up all
And
your
then use it
garbage.
after. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember
Boy,
I
talk
went
about
to
getting
one
2 birds
game,
stoned
yeah.
at once.
They had the exciting zone and then the regular zone at the Lotte game. I was like, I wonder how
Exciting.
much you pay for the exciting zone and how is it more exciting?
Oh, it's the only place that when you're at the game, you know why you got to be in the exciting zone. It's just like the soccer game. They got everybody stands the whole game, flags and all kinds of stuff,
yeah.
and
They got the beanbag zone too there that I looked pretty interesting, but I bet that ticket prices are quite expensive.
This Korean life.
so you failed at becoming a catfisher, and somehow you ended up on a bird over to Korea.
Yeah. So I graduated college in 2008 when the financial crisis happened. So jobs floating everywhere. I mean, couldn't keep a job. But yeah, so at the time the only job I could find was a collections job, and I didn't. Yeah, there's something about going into work every day collecting student debt while I also was paying student loans. I was like, man, I feel greasy. It's
Yeah.
not feel good. But at the time though,
You
because-
started doing that?
Oh well, that's the only job you could get at the time. There were a few more jobs floating around, but it was the catch-22 of you need experience to get the job, but in order to get experience, you had to take an unpaid internship or something like
Oh
that.
God.
Yeah,
Nothing
that was the
worse,
thing. It's
yeah.
like you need 5 years experience for this job, but in order to get 5 years experience, you got to go so much years unpaid. So I'm like, well, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I was like, I can't work 5 years for free. God, I got.
It's like the
student debt.
uni jobs. You're asking for 3 years experience, but you can't get experience anywhere.
Yeah.
How do you?
And if you are
Yeah.
a professor back home, it's highly unlikely you're going to move over here to
No.
Oh,
work
right,
for
yeah.
half. Huh?
But yeah, so I was working at uni, or I was working the collections job, and I was making decent money because I speak Spanish and I got a pay differential for that. So at the time, I was making good money because if there was a Spanish speaker or a Spanish borrower, you get them on the phone, and if it was an English speaker, they would just no hablo ningún palabra de inglés, lo siento, and you can't collect on them.
Mm.
Then they would my team would be like, hey, I got a Spanish speaker, yo soy señor Aparicio, tenemos que hablar de su dedo. Ah, shit,
Gotcha.
you could hear it in their voice. Ah, shit, you got me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because I could collect on them, you get
I
paid.
thought you were gonna say start speaking Chinese.
Oh God. Then I'm fucked then.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I collect on the Spanish speakers, you get paid on the amount that you collect.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another greasy one. Like you get somebody who's got $100,000 in debt. If I collect on them, I'm gonna get a portion of that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, nice until you get a sob story.
Mm.
Like you get a mom who's got a bunch of kids and they can't make ends meet. And my job is, well, I'm getting paid to not care about your 4 kids. I'm getting paid to get that money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is it anything like the TV shows?
Do you pick her up
TV
by the
shows.
ankles and shake the
Yeah,
change
do you
out of
knock
her-
on doors
out
or
of
you're
her
just on
pockets?
the phone?
Oh, you're just on the phone.
Oh, it's just on the phone.
Oh yeah.
It's not like that bounty hunters or whatever
Oh,
those guys
Christ.
online there.
Okay.
Those
God,
Dog
I could imagine 22-year-old me like, hey, can I have some money?
no big football player hung you up in the living room.
Oh no, it was in a big bullpen in a call center. Yeah.
Oh, you just phone them.
Yeah.
You just hang up.
Yeah.
Who's paying on the phone call?
Huh?
How many guys are paying? What's the ratio of guys paying and not paying on phone calls?
Oh well, it depends on what we could do because we were able to take legal action against them.
Senor Aparicio, goodbye.
Well, the thing about it is let's say there's a doctor or a lawyer or something like that, and they used state subsidized loans to get their degree. Well, because of state subsidized loans, the state or the we were allowed to garnish their license if they didn't pay back. So those things, if you got a doctor on the line, you look at him like, oh, hey, you like that license? Okay, well, here's the deal. You're going to pay this debt, or I'm going to take that license from you.
Mm.
So doctors and lawyers, if you got one of them, you're getting your money. And those were the big paydays, but those are quite rare. Most cases, it was some out of luck guy who went to those the for-profit schools like well, it's something you see online, Arizona Online, or I can't remember what it is, Phoenix State Online.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get people like that who get tricked into these $100,000 loans that they know they're not going to get a job.
Mm.
And 2008, there's no jobs to be had. But the job is you got to collect on them.
Jeez.
How did you find out about Korea then
Well,
as
at
an
the
option?
time, I had a buddy out here, and when I was in college, I studied teaching English as a foreign language, and so I'd always wanted to go somewhere, but I didn't really know the means.
How to get there?
Yeah. Like, who do you go to Monster.com? I don't know if Monsters even use it.
Yeah.
I would like to go to pick a country and all that, but I had a buddy who was from Athens, and he happened to come out here, and at his job, there was a woman who'd done a runner, and he said, "Hey, I got a job out here. If you want to come out, it's 9 months." And I was like, "Oh, 9 months? Yeah, that'll be cool. 9-month little adventure. Go to Korea. Yeah, eat some kimchi and
Yeah.
you have these ideas of what
Yeah.
the country is." And I quit my job and I came out here. That was 15 years ago.
What was that turnaround on the quit the job and come? We've heard funny guys 3
Oh,
days.
oh, right. Okay,
or
so
3 months. But
Apostles take a
I
while.
quit my job after I sent my documents. So I went to Nashville, got my apostle, got all my documents, fired them off. After the guy who's helped me get the job, after he said, "Okay, we have them. The documents have been submitted to immigration. You should have your visa in, I want to say, a week, something like that." So at that point, I was like, "Okay, a week, so I'll be in Korea in 2 weeks. Great, I got some money. I'm gonna quit my job, and I'm gonna drink and play video games until I have to fly out because 22 years old. What are you gonna do?
Sure.
Got the visa about 3 days later. They call up and like, "Okay, we got your visa. Awesome." I was under the impression that I was gonna have a few days to pack up and get ready to go. I get a call about
3 hours later.
Well, yeah, something like that. Like it was the same day that I'd gotten confirmation of my visa, and it was the flight agent saying, "Are you Brian? Yep. Okay, you need to be in Atlanta at 5 o'clock in the morning for your flight out to Korea." And I think at that point in the day, it was somewhere around lunchtime. So yeah, so I had to organize my entire life in about 12 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh man, left in
That's
a
what
whirlwind.
lots of the stories are like that, and guys would just say, "Screw the visa, just come on a tourist visa. You can stay for." We were 6 months. Americans were 90 days, I think.
Yeah.
Just come. You can teach the first 2 weeks. I'll help you get your papers sorted. And it was, if you didn't have a teacher, you lost all the kids. You lost your company.
Yeah, well, if there's a runner, then they're really on the clock.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
thing that in hindsight, now I understand what they did, because at the time I was thinking 9 months. Well, I mean, surely losing one teacher's not that big a deal. Hindsight, you realize how much it had impacted the hog wine.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's
Yeah.
why they got me out there inside of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they even got you apostled your stuff there. Come out here and we'll deal with it. Whatever. Just make sure the moms are happy.
That
There's a
was-
white face in the class.
That's what it was, yeah.
That was mine. Come here,
Yeah.
find a job, and then they send you to
Japan.
Japan. for-
Oh, yeah, the
Ah,
visa
yeah.
runs, yeah.
And that was often faster and easier than
2 days.
doing it. Yeah.
2 days.
Oh,
2
yeah.
days, 3
It was
days.
like you make an appointment, you have a weekend out there, you get your visa, and then you come back.
Oh, it's then they give you all the money for it too.
Yeah.
Just
You
bring,
could
just bring
you could
back
go,
receipts.
You could go same day. You could go on the first boat.
No, you
over
need
in
an
the morning.
overnight. You need an overnight, I think.
Even
yeah.
They
way
gotta
back.
process it overnight. Yeah, in my experience, anyways. Yeah,
Oh,
you had
okay.
you needed a full overnighter, but that was the closest I ever came to dying. Just being so dehydrated after
Yeah.
drinking. Oh my god! I thought Korea's hot, man. Japan's, I think, very overlooked as a burning hot city or burning hot country. Good Christ, Fukuoka, anyways.
Brutal.
You came into Ulsan, but weren't you guys out in the country first?
Yeah, we were.
You guys had your
yeah,
little.
yeah,
I think Andy came a month after me.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You two and Patrick were all in the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were out there.
Ulsan?
I thought I was going to
no,
be in the city,
Namchang.
but yeah.
Namchang.
Namchang, yeah.
Right on my mother-in-law's.
Oh yeah, so everybody who's in Namchang has a similar story. Like you were talking about, everybody has the same story about getting out to Korea. Everybody who was in Namchang at the time had the same story. We were all
How was
told.
bringing guys to Namchang.
Well, they lie to you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what happened to me, yeah.
Ulsan City.
Well, not far. Quick bus ride
1.3 million
downtown.
people.
That's what they do. Yeah, 1.3 million people hop skip from Busan, and then you get to the airport, and you're like, wow, look at these lights, man. Look at that Ferris wheel. This is
Where are we
fantastic. And then
going?
you keep driving.
To North Korea.
And you keep driving, then you end up in this little village, and you're like, what the
man.
fuck's happening here? And, like, this is in
Yeah.
Ulsan, and then technically it is Ulsan. It's just, it's old units in the countryside.
And there's no like cacao groups and Facebook groups.
Right.
back
Oh,
then,
yeah,
so
that was before
so, like,
smartphones, anything like
You
that.
were the first foreigner that I saw.
Oh,
It was a month
God,
into
yeah.
my contract.
Yeah, I think me and a buddy, the same guy that got me out here, we were going to go get some gimbap, and we're at the crosswalk, and I can't remember what it was, but we looked at this corner and we were like, "What the hell's that?" See this little spot in the back running, holding
I'd just been shopping.
groceries, right?
Just been to the Orange Mart.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, we couldn't read Korean at the time, so it was just it's the Orange Mart. And he's like, guys, wait. We're like, oh shit, that's a foreigner. So we waited, and like he just got bags full of groceries. Like, yeah, like, I stopped everything and just started hanging out.
You guys, you play music? Yeah, me too. Do you want to start a band?
Yeah, it was pretty much like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just happy to see.
yeah.
another
And
foreigner.
at the time, there was another woman out there, Helena, and she happened to run into other people who lived in Namchang. And I still remember she organized a meetup of like 7 or 8 of us at the
Yeah.
Perry Baguette. That's when we met Patrick.
Couldn't believe there were that many of us out there.
Yeah.
When you guys got there, was there as many foreign laborers as there is now?
You mean in Perry Baguette?
Out in Namchang?
Yeah.
Oh no,
I don't think
I
so.
don't.
There's tons. Like
Are
it's
there?
that whole area. now
Oh
is
God,
all
I
foreign
haven't been
laborers.
out there.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been there. I think it was before the pandemic that I was out in Namchang.
There was that multicultural festival in. Oh, where was it?
There's the
You-
Ongi Festival.
No.
Mm.
In you just said the induction.
Once induction.
Induction. Oh my God, dude! We parked the car and walked around the neighborhood. There's no Koreans.
Yeah.
There was 10,000 foreign workers living all right in the same area. There. It's wild. Yeah.
It's possible they may have been there when we were there, but I don't recall seeing many. I remember having Philippine co-workers, but I don't remember like any factory workers or anything like that at the time.
No, but now like just when I got married, 2011 maybe. So just going out there regularly over time, and you know, my mother would say, "Oh, there's Wagugins from Sri Lanka. Oh, I met Wagugins from Indonesia." Like, where are you meeting all these guys? Like just at the mart or the Orange Mart or what? But yeah, now there's just so many.
Right.
There's no young Koreans working out there anymore, so it's all foreigners.
Wow.
How did you get your big introduction to the real city? After 9 months, you're like, "Whoa."
Well, I spent my first week was in Yongin doing training, and
For a hot one?
at the time I worked for a franchise called
Oh, okay.
Unilangs, and I don't even know if it's even around anymore. But either way,
Unilangs?
Unilangs, yeah.
That's I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, right.
Unilangs.
Same with what was yours? Fine Shule?
Pine Chile, yeah.
Yeah.
I was the first foreign teacher there, so there was no one to kind of like meet at the start. It's just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so after that, I came down here, and like my buddy that was here, I got to Ulsan on like a Friday evening, and Saturday, he was like, "All right, let's go downtown to the big city." And I'm like, all right, so at the time the bus was
That would be exciting.
yeah, well, yeah, kind of, yeah, because like the biggest city I'd ever been in at that point was Knoxville. If you call it a city, it's maybe 100,000, I think. And then you come into Ulsan, and at the time, I remember thinking, man, this place is a big city. In hindsight, Ulsan is definitely much more of a spread out town than it is a city, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I remember coming down here and I'm like, wow, look at this place. Buildings and shops and all this. This is awesome. Look at buses everywhere. This is, wow.
Yeah.
This is wild, guys. Look at that. And my buddy, we get down here and he goes, yeah, let's get some grub. I'm like, all right. I'm thinking, all right, time to try some Korean food. 10 out of 10.
Nice.
10 out of 10.
Been practicing that since high school.
And for the listener, Brian just hit Nate
120 of
right
those in
in
there.
the chest with a straw shot. Great.
That was a fucking laser.
That was good. I'm thinking, so imagine if they made that into like a. Imagine like a hockey, like you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you 1, 2, 3.
For future, if you want to do it to someone, you just rip the top off, and it's always a straight shot.
Oh, you see that back when you were kids, when the paper, when they come paper, you rip it off of it.
Oh
There you
yeah.
go. But yeah, so my buddy wanted to go get McDonald's. I was like, really? You want to get McDonald's?
Who?
Or
This
in,
was
uh,
Ryan.
Yeah, it was Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
Yeah.
He's vegan now, isn't he?
Yeah, no, it's
It's
vegan
back in
now.
the day when he was.
Yeah. Yeah, wild.
Mickey D's would have been behind the Hyundai department store.
Oh, at that time,
time.
the Mickey D's there was the Mickey D's at Gongo Top. Remember that one?
No.
Yeah.
You don't see too many closing down, but that's the one. Yeah, used
Yeah.
to be right on the rotary there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right in the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I
So,
knew that was a
so
movie.
if you're taking the highway in, coming from Jinha, right as you get into the rotary on the right side, there was a McDonald's right on the corner.
Yeah.
Didn't get a lot of foot traffic.
No.
Really heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No drive-through.
No, it didn't.
Oh yeah. You get in there, and I think the only thing in that area that has not changed aside from the statue is that big orange mart, or the big
that
orange
one?
building.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, aside from that, everything else has changed. But yeah, that big orange thing has always been there. 15 years, I've never been in that building.
Yeah. I don't even know what it is. There's a mart on
It's
the
a mart
bottom.
on the bottom.
I think it's a grocery store, isn't it? Yeah.
I've been to the
Orange
mart on the
Mart.
bottom. I've just never been to in the big building.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah, 15.
anyways, you're 15 years deep.
Yeah, 15. I just hit 15 last June. Oh, sorry.
This June.
No. Yeah, this June. Actually, July 4th was my 15 years in Ulsan.
Oh,
Because my first night out with my buddy that night was the 4th, and we ended up in a wall bar. Do you remember there was a wall bar across the street from the Home Plus on the way to Jungsingpo? The Namgo Home Plus?
Yeah.
Across the street there used to be a wall bar. I remember that's that's where we were at. Yeah, I remember we got there and like, yeah, we're only drinking Budweiser tonight because it's America.
Fourth of July.
Yeah,
Bud
man.
Lights.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, bar. There's one remaining that I can think of.
Yeah,
It's the one in Mugudong.
that's the
There's
only
one right
one
down here, right at the
Yeah,
bottom.
that's
of
the
this
one.
Yeah,
That's the one.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the one.
only
Yeah.
one left.
That's the one. Yeah.
And dude, it was closed the entire time for Corona,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's opened back up. You see there, the people having beers and stuff in there now.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, went in there a while ago, and with a friend who doesn't drink beer. So she's like, "What can I have?" And she kept asking, "Can you make this? Nope. Can you make this? Nope. Sorry. This? Nope."
We used to make
So
our
what
own.
options have I got? Yeah.
We used to go behind and make our own at
That
that
would have
one
been
at
better.
Ulsan University.
Oh God,
He's
yeah,
awesome.
the big one near Babo Sagari.
Yeah, Mr. Kim's.
He was-
Or Mr. Lim's.
Man, one of the guys that really, we talked about like service or taking care of your customers. It's the culture at home. You don't always buy an anju when you go for
Yeah,
for
yeah.
drinks, right? And he at first used to be kind of cold, like, you fuckers aren't buying any chips or sausage
any
platters
snack
or whatever.
anything, yeah.
But we drink 13 beers each with a table of 10 guys, you know. And finally, he's like,
Two
"Oh."
Korean girls are there for 4 hours with one beer each.
Yeah. And finally he caught on, like, I'm going to send some fries out to these guys. We're like, all right, get another round.
Sober them up and keep them drinking.
Extra
Yeah.
salt on them to
Sure.
really.
No,
Yeah.
Marky would say, "We need a round of Bazooka Joes." What the hell's a Bazooka Joe? Like, don't worry, I'll make it. Move. If Marky
Yeah.
go behind the bar.
Jeez.
You got a problem? Call Mr. Lim. He'll say it's okay.
Oh, Lord.
He'd go back and make them and says, "Well, how much do we charge for these?" "They're $3 each. All $3." They didn't. We had full reign in that place. They didn't care.
Oh man, that place was a hot spot back in the day.
Yeah,
Like,
Well, you could
Great
sit out on the
patio.
patio, too.
yeah,
That was
well,
the-
you're talking about being out here for so long. Like back in the day, moving on, there used to be, there was a path you would take. You would start your day at Wall Bar. You would migrate to either Purple Haze or
God.
Tombstone.
yeah.
And it was usually, you would end up in Tombstone.
Yeah.
And I remember going there maybe 3 or 4 times because it didn't last long after I'd gotten here. But I remember the first time I'd opened the door and a chair went right past my face. Opened the door and a chair went by. I'm like, what in the hell is going on here?
Kenny or Win.
Yeah, that was when I
quite the
met.
introduction.
Yeah, well, that's when I'd met all the old time. Like I don't know if I met you there, Nate. But I remember I met Jeff there. Mark, I think I met Andy out there. Hazel was working there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild times, man. That was, I liked the bar because anything could have happened.
Yeah.
It could have been like a boys like, oh, like singing a song and crying, or like someone could have got stabbed or like fell out a window or
Wild
something.
West.
Yeah.
it was
Overdose.
crazy.
That place. I
You
remember.
go in, guys are playing. What's that game?
Foosball.
Foosball nude. Shit off. It was.
Oh man.
The pool table was amazing.
That place was something else, man.
First time I saw the pool table, I thought it was. I'm like, oh my god, they got a world map, like as the felt.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
no, that's just like
Yes,
30
Dave.
fucking 100 mixed drinks all poured all over. Oh, I thought it was like, wow, look at this high class place. But
Well, then
We used to get pitchers of rum and coke.
Jesus.
Pitchers of rum and coke for like $10.
Oh god.
It was crazy.
God.
dude, I think it was 5.
Might have been.
I think it was 5.
Might
Yeah.
have been.
God, back in the day,
Go blind for $5.
Man, and then I also like back in the day, back when we were big drinkers, you could after that, if you didn't go to Mugadong, you'd end up at Troy's at the old bench, another high class establishment.
Oh, just the places. Yeah, the Tomb, Bench, and in SEMA, 3 places. that-
Purple Haze was another one. You
Oh,
know.
yeah.
Right now, we need a South African to open something up because there's just not enough support among the other foreigners here. The demographics have changed so much.
Yeah.
Oh well, I mean, there's not as many foreign teachers as there used to be. You know,
But how much support was there for the restaurant?
Is there not as many?
Yeah.
foreign teachers, yeah, definitely.
What about the
Really?
restaurant?
What restaurant?
The
Southern
South
Connection.
African
Oh
restaurant.
yeah,
Southern Connection.
Yanita closed that
Yeah.
a while ago. Yeah,
It's about a year.
I didn't say it was going to work. I just said that's like I don't think there's enough initiative from the past owners were American, Canadian, British, whatever. I don't think you would get.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be you have all your buddies, but now there's not many buddies left. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
the guys who are Aussies, Kiwis, Canadians, Americans, Brits, they don't have a crew anymore. There's so many South Africans that's the only way I think you could
there
make
are a lot of South Africans.
you
here.
could make a foreign bar work. Where you would,
You brought your own?
where
It's my savior and my sin. This stuff.
where you would have the South African guys open the bar, and then that would be the main, and we would just be as visitors. there.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing about it is it's kind of hard, at least in Ulsan now, to have a business that relies solely on foreign patronage. Like there's just not enough,
And,
and it's unreliable too.
look at IOB too. Like I mean, he didn't reach out to any of the foreign community, and I think he might have realized that early. Like, well, can't rely on these guys to support my business, right?
Oh yeah. No, I think that's right. And I think that's maybe what happened with Yanita in Southern. I used to work with Yanita, and I remember there was a point where she started offering pastas, and I remember asking, "What's up with the pasta?" She goes, "Well, I mean, I got to do something for my Korean clientele. Otherwise, I'm not going to make money.
Yeah.
You know, I got to stay open, so I got to play to the market that I'm in."
And you have to, you got to make those. You have to make those decisions. Same as what's her name there, Crazy Blue de Folie. Only carbonara. Have to cut half her menu to just to stay open.
But this is a different time. I mean, I think especially the under 25 crowdish, man, you should be able to have a split of Koreans and foreigners mingling at a place. Maybe we're still the countryside. I don't know.
What's the?
I'm.
What business?
I would love to hit the jackpot and then just try it. I would love to try a place across from the university that had the darts, pool, sponsored all the sports teams around, and had Toonie Tuesdays and wet T-shirt Wednesdays or whatever.
Oh, they can have a wet T-shirt Wednesday in 2024, man.
whatever it would be, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The college pubs at home where just anybody and everybody could go, and it was just young, fun, and whatever. Happy hour was 6 to 8. Come, it's $1 beers or whatever. Man, we used to go to a place for 25-cent drafts. You'd go there with $10, and you'd be bombed. But you'd order some food.
10-cent
you'd
wings.
play some games. You'd do this. You'd do that.
10-cent wings was the thing.
That was it. Just a place to hang out and a big place that had lots of this is for whatever music and some games. This is for couches and whatever. And there's I know it's not sold, but I still think around any university you can have those places. They don't have to be just gombe crazy soju drinking.
But doesn't the mood change too fast here to have any lasting? Lasting
trend. I think that place would last really good, but it'd be seen as a trend.
Yeah. Well, like everything, and I think going home, you see, this restaurant's been here for 50 years or 70 years.
You don't think that Wabar would still be busy? That Wabar would be crushing. He only changed because he had to get something more sustainable for his son that didn't finish at 3 a.m, so he turned it into a restaurant, which fell on its face. Otherwise, it would still be open and still be going. There's no way. There was students, there was business, there was everybody.
Is that location?
Sure, it's location.
Yeah, I guess.
But that's what I'm saying. If you open one of those across from the university, I mean, there's no way that. I mean, where do they go now? They go for French fries and things. You could go for a date there. You can go for a party there. You can go. And we said
that's
Shill's
place. No?
How about making darts night? How about making this night? He's like, but it's a franchise. I only have so much flexibility. I can only do so many things because we can't have trivia night, dart night.
Wasn't that Sticky Fingers?
No,
aren't you describing Sticky Fingers?
Yeah.
What?
Well, somewhere you can go for a date, play darts.
Yeah, the venue you're describing, it sounds like Sticky Fingers.
Yeah, but it wasn't a uni crowd there.
But I say if you take Sticky Fingers and put it in front of the university.
Yeah.
Ha.
Hey, Shill, if you're listening, got a good idea for you.
Yeah.
The spot above the Angels in Us, directly across from the university.
Right,
There's a balcony up there.
It's awesome.
That's I've always had my eye on that. It's like it says like Greenpeace or something on the top. What's up with that?
Yeah.
You got to.
I don't know how they haven't capitalized on it. I mean, I know it slows down during the vacation periods, but man.
But still, I mean, when it's open, make a shit ton of money then, and then hibernate when the kids are gone.
Not even. There's still enough people around. I mean, there's. I still think you can make a really good go of a good college pub.
You know what? Let's make Mugadon great again.
Campaign.
Oh man,
you know what Mugadon means? It's like a
something else I
mascot.
need to go do. I gotta go.
I see,
out.
guys. Red hats. We got red hats. Make Mugo great again. MMG. Mega. Make Mugo.
MMGA.
MMGA. Is that
Oof.
it? Make Mugo
Ambunda.
great again. Yeah. Oh man. Anyways.
This Korean life.
How long did it take you before you got into the music the music scene here.
Well, I played music back home for a while, but
Did you bring an instrument with you?
no, I had left all my instruments back home. I didn't. Well, okay. Part of that was I came out here expecting just to stay for 9 months,
Yeah.
knowing that I was going to be here for 15 years. Yeah, I probably would have brought some shit back with me. You know, and actually at the time I didn't know that Andy played. I knew Patrick played because we almost got arrested once in the park in Namchang. It was one of those nights you get 8, 9, 10,000 beers in you, and somebody gets a guitar and you think, wow, this is a great idea to play a song at 1, 2 in the morning in a residential area. Great idea.
Yeah.
So we started playing Tom Petty, right?
I think we're playing My Hero. Foo Fighters.
Oh, was it?
Top of our lungs.
Oh,
One of those
yeah.
little
I was gonna say,
windows around with
not
people
at the
sleeping.
top of your lungs would be no problem. It's that problem when you start getting the decibels up a little bit.
Well, that's what it is, yeah, because you get drunker, and all of a sudden this sounds like this, but in your mind you have no idea. But yeah, somebody had said that they called the cops, and like whatever, and then we heard the sirens, and Andy here, did you know he's an Olympic runner?
Deishibars.
Yeah, Andy here's a sprinter. He heard the sirens and he was gone.
Yeah.
Instincts.
Yeah.
Took over.
This
Yeah.
sounds like my Nepalese guys.
Yep. Hear the sirens, everybody
They,
fucked up.
they came in and it was like a week in or 2 weeks in, and they had a birthday party at wherever they were drinking. I imagine students on a budget, soju, end up at the park, ruckus at 1, 2 in the morning. Somebody, like just over here, somebody calls the cops. Everybody was an Olympic runner except for the 2 guys who wiped out and couldn't run. And the cops tagged them. And I get a call at 5 in the morning to go to the police station to get these guys out.
Yep.
Jeez.
And I go in there and they're absolutely bummed. No shirt, no shoes, no socks. And they're like,
Sounds like no
but
problem.
this
to me.
wasn't just a birthday. Like, what the hell were you guys doing? He goes, oh, I came back to get him because he fell down. I didn't want to, leave no man behind. I didn't want to leave my buddy, so I went back, and then they caught me. I was like, dude, you weren't running anywhere. You can't even stand up.
You're running diagonally.
Blind leading the blind.
Yeah, it's funny. You're all in the same crew until somebody calls the cops. Then we'll see who's.
Oh, Jesus.
You guys are Tom Petty fans?
Yeah.
Oh, he's huge in my hometown. People love
Yeah.
love
yeah.
him, man. He's awesome. Yeah.
So Andy sprinted out.
Yeah, he sprinted out, and so.
You got caught.
Oh no, none of us got caught. We were lucky to get away. I think the cops, I'm pretty sure they just put on the siren and clear out the
Yeah,
rats.
but
and-
Patrick got in trouble for that because they
Oh,
contacted
right,
his boss.
right. Yeah, they got in touch with his boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Really?
funny how that used to
Yeah.
work too, right? I don't know if it will work like that now, but it was like your babysitter.
Yeah.
We'll call your boss.
Yeah.
What about my boss? I guess he's done my phone, my electricity, he does it. Yeah.
And he,
okay.
and
It's like
he
calling my
owns
dad.
my Visa.
It's like calling my
Yeah.
dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was the first time about music. And then at the time, Andy's house, he had a piano in there. And
You did?
Yeah, just ordered one online and
Yeah.
it
Oh,
arrived.
an electric keyboard.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Yeah.
so.
So he showed up with a piano and
And my boss's husband gave me an old acoustic guitar as well.
nice.
So I had a piano and a guitar.
Yeah, so I played a little bit there, and when I was back home, I mostly played bass. Like I was in one band back home, and I played bass there.
You slap with a bass?
Yes, slap at a bass like a motherfucker.
With your RC Cola.
Moon Pie and
RC Cola slides.
Moon Pie and Mouth.
What's the name of the combo again?
Rednecks. Yeah, that was the name of the band. Redneck Seven Course Meal. But yeah, so we started playing some music, and I remember. I can't remember. I think I was with you, Andy, when I went down to the music shop. So I was
That's
like,
right.
well, let me go see how much a bass would cost. Went down to the music shop near Lotte Mart. 'Cause there's 2 music shops right there.
Soul Umak.
I can't remember. I think
That's the
so.
one.
Yeah. Went in there and the guy sold me a Dame bass and an amp for 100,001.
Yep.
And I remember thinking like, "Fuck yeah, I can play again." It was a piece of shit, absolute garbage.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, but at that, then me, Andy, and
Did the
Patrick we started playing a couple songs, and I think the first time we ever played was Bench's Very Last Night. That was the first time we'd ever played.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Had
Yep.
a few cover songs in the bank and 3
Yeah.
of us.
Yep.
Close them up.
Yeah, played that, and then we started to play regularly at I can't even remember the
I'm
name of the bar.
blanking too, mate. Elsewhere? Nowhere?
No,
somewhere else?
Bar somewhere. Bar somewhere.
Somewhere else.
Hazel's
Oh, that was-
place.
Hey, around the corner from...
The Philippine bar.
Oh, the Philippine bar. Okay,
Yeah. We used to
Yeah,
play.
okay,
We used to
yeah.
play a little bit there, and then I can't remember how it happened, but we wound up. I think we stopped playing.
Best buffet in town, that place.
Really?
It's in the
How old were
basement.
you guys when you came in?
Seriously,
Mid-20s?
22, 23.
That's totally
Like,
good.
man, you could pick lots of places, but I don't know if there was a wilder place to be at those kind of years. It was freaking crazy.
Oh,
it could be 5-6 nights a week, 4 a.m. finishes, 3.
Oh.
There was no repercussions. It costed nothing. It was just a free for all.
When you start work at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
and you're
That-
up
that-
all
We could
night.
roll into that bar somewhere at like 2 a.m. You're like, is the party still on? You're like, oh, there was a buffet tonight.
That was the thing about it back in the day, man. Like, so after Bar Somewhere closed, then Andy, Patrick, and Chris opened. They bought the bench, the old bench off
Yeah.
Troy. And I think it was Troy and Hazel, right? Were they
Yeah,
the-
and
Yeah.
Corey.
Corey, yeah.
Three,
Yep. So they
three
bought
and a
that.
Fuck is Corey?
I think it was Hazel's partner at the time, or
I
if they broke
can't
up.
remember, man. Hazy times. Yeah, there were 3 owners, and we. Yeah.
Yeah. So and so they opened up. That's right. We stopped playing because you guys opened up that place, and then a few years after that, I think it was going to be Bench's 5-year anniversary or 1-year anniversary. I can't remember what number it was, but Patrick wanted to do a couple covers, and he talked to Andy, and he talked to another friend that played drums, and he asked if I'd play a few songs on bass, and then that's when. What was that name we had before Temper?
The pyramid scheme.
The Pyramid Scheme.
Sweet.
Yeah, great band name. Yeah, so we started that up, and that became Temper, and that was a real fun time.
But it's when we got in contact with Mr. Kim
Yeah,
and started getting the festivals, Maruhi,
Right.
Global. Like that's when we really started playing.
yeah.
Like,
Started
we got
playing.
to practice.
When did you
because-
guys? When did you guys meet John Brown?
Oh no!
was John-
Now this isn't this is the rock band. This
Okay.
isn't the bluegrass band. Now, I'd known John Brown for years beforehand because of another buddy, John Mart. I'd met John Brown through him, and the transition from that was I really can't remember how Temper ended.
because
Aaron
moved to
left.
Seoul.
Aaron left, right?
Mhm.
So that band broke up, and then when we were playing one of our last gigs in Seoul, and Andy bought a banjo off somebody. When we were I think we were playing a metal bar.
we played the Thunder Horse Tavern
Yeah.
in
Oh.
Itaewon.
Guy by-
And well, what a
Holy
place.
shit.
Anyway,
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Can you describe Thunder Horse for me? It sounds fucking crazy.
It's an S&M dungeon.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Jesus
basement,
Christ.
dark.
S&M dungeon.
It's-
Like a purple haze of Itaewon.
It is
50
dark.
Shades of Purple.
Oh man, that was a show, boy. Actually,
Andy
the guy
Bonnington.
recorded it, and it was such a great show. So the band's name was Temper, and he recorded the gig because he had his setup. Like he recorded everything that went through the mics, and on the recording, Andy listens. He says, "Guys, listen to how you introduce us." He goes, "All right, welcome to the stage, treble." Like, man, this place sucks.
Didn't even get the name right.
Yeah, but that was I think that was our last gig as Temper,
Yeah.
and then Andy had a banjo, and I'd introduced him to John because John played a lot of acoustic. I played a few tunes with him and another buddy, and then eventually I went back home. I brought my mandolin back out, and that was kind of the beginnings of the Lost Boys, and we got John Mark to play bass,
Yep.
and
It's the three of us for a while,
Yep.
just doing buskings on the
Yep.
streets. And
Yeah, Mr. Kim getting us busking gigs.
Huh.
Then John Mark came on to play bass because we needed that rhythm element, and then I was hellbound and determined to not have a drummer
That's
Yeah.
right.
because I'm a traditionalist, man. Listen, you don't bring a drum into the Ryman Auditorium.
Hold on,
I
just a
mean,
pause for a quick shout out to Mr. Kim. That guy's been around for like 30 years
Yeah.
in the foreign community, and I think because of you guys and the evolution of the music and the people and whatever, now he's kind of connected in completely different ways. But he was one of the only places when I got here. He was one of the only places open and welcome to foreigners.
That's
But,
right.
man.
Mention
he's,
the anchor.
He's a legend, man, and
Yeah.
he's been actively involved in the foreign community as long as anybody probably in the city.
And,
Yeah.
and don't forget, when I showed up asking for We Hope, can you make a donation? Never hesitates.
Yeah.
Here you go, pump, free drink tickets. Here's vouchers for this or that. So yeah, if you're
Yeah.
out and about in Songnam
He's an important
after
Oh, yeah.
character, yeah.
After you stop by JJ's, go
And there's
swing
been
by and
kind of
say hello.
ebbs and flows of, musicians and people and whatever. And he's always been there. And if you show up and you haven't seen him in 5 years, doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
And
like,
he'll remember you like this. And just an awesome guy. So
man, I haven't talked to him in probably a good 3-4 years, but I'm fair, like you're saying, I'm pretty sure if I was to go up to him tomorrow and be like, hey, I'm gonna try. I got a few songs. Could you get me a busing? Go, yeah, yeah, play,
Yeah,
do it.
that's
Like just like an old friend, you never really stopped.
and he still has pictures from like back in the day, like
1996.
2000, 96,
yeah.
97.
Well,
That's something I like about JJ's in there. You go in, you're like, oh my god, it's weird, man. Being here for so long, you're like,
See all the photos.
yeah.
I like it.
Those are
JJ's
just
guys are
normal
like
photos, but it's,
Flashbacks,
yeah.
and you see all that old stuff.
guys at JJ's like, how do I get on the wall? Like, how much do I got to spend? How many nights do I got to come? What do I got to do to end up on the wall here?
And
How
the
do
thing
I
about it
get
is
that?
he changes the pictures. So the pictures
Yeah.
he has now aren't the original pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps a handful of the old ones and then changes them out every so often.
Yeah.
So like
Nice.
you look at a picture like, well, it's not that you don't remember because you were hammered, but it was just so long ago. Because you're seeing faces like that guy hasn't lived here in 10 years.
Yeah, it goes quick.
Oh
man.
yeah, but
Mr. Kim, once we got the drums,
Yeah.
he kind of became our manager in a way, and he
Yeah.
tried to get us to. He wanted us to do like costume changes and play these certain songs and have an act to really play to the Korean audience.
he really wanted us to be
Costume changes
No,
is
swear,
wild.
I swear to God, he wanted us to be this kind of like hokey country music
Yeah.
act kind of thing. Yeah.
Reminds me of like a Borat gig at one of the Trump rallies or something.
Well, like, it reminded me. You know when you go to the airports or like the train station, you see those Peruvian flute band kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like that's what he wanted us to do, but
They
for
play
bluegrass.
they play. Yes, I could if I only
Yeah.
would.
Oh yeah. See, Condor Pasa.
Condor Pasa. Oh my god.
yeah.
Dude, that guy. Any festival we have, you go home, you're going
There-
to sleep.
Yeah,
that fucking
yeah.
flute is playing in your
Yeah.
mind. El Condor Pasa. We must play it
Oh yeah.
40 times a day, man.
Yeah,
Oh lord. He's got that big
Yeah.
the feathers and shit on.
Oh yeah, but yeah. So Mr. Kim, like he got us a whole bunch of gigs, and there was one summer before the pandemic where we were getting a nice little chunk of change. You know,
Yeah,
playing
nice
these.
side gig.
Oh yeah.
Well, you got us that one in the
that was a gig during the pandemic.
Wait, which one?
What did you say? There's like 8 guys in the audience.
and all spaced out in the crowd. I don't actually, Brian. I think you were working and couldn't do that. Gig.
Was that the auditorium gig?
That
the
was
one I
the
couldn't
JR
play?
Hall. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
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 How much did you guys get for that?
Oh, it was ridiculous. Too much. But I remember I was playing harmonica and I had to wear a mask, and so I was playing.
Oh man, yeah, that was, wow, yeah, Lost Boys, like that was a good chunk of change. Like we had 2 sets at the time. We had like our bar set, the one that you go into Sticky Fingers or wherever, and you play some songs, everybody's singing along. And then Mr. Kim didn't like a lot of those songs because if you're busking, people don't know Green Day, but they do know like Country Roads.
Right.
Yeah, so you play that. You play Country Roads. If you're busking, you can definitely tell the age of a crowd by the song you're playing.
So sorry, just to
Yeah.
jump in there. Last Friday, I played my father-in-law's high school reunion,
Oh yeah, dude.
and to 260 to 70-year-old guys.
Wow.
And I had a 10-song set of all the old classics that Lost Boys used
Yeah.
to do. And the only song that got them clapping was Country Roads.
Oh my
Really?
god.
And I had guys up dancing to it and clapping, and I'm just doing.
Was that where the guy took the picture with you mid song? Was that during Country Roads?
No, that was during Blackbird. But yeah, I'm mid-song, and guys are coming up getting selfies, handing me shots of soju, and I'm trying to play.
you
them.
did song.
Like,
What was the set list? You had Country Roads.
Wish You Were Here.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd, Dust in the Wind,
Yeah.
Blackbird,
Beatles.
House of the Rising Sun. Yeah,
Yeah.
Beatles, Country Roads, Hotel California, one Korean song.
Hotel
Yeah.
California didn't get him?
No, they didn't really get him.
Huh.
House of the Rising Sun. Brown Eyed Girl.
Oh, Van
California
Morrison.
Dreaming.
On such a Wednesday.
There might have been one more, but yeah,
Oh, wow.
those classics. Yeah,
Can you play that after? that's a wicked.
Yeah.
That's a
but
wicked.
yeah, Country Roads never fails to just get them.
No,
It's just
yeah.
something
Yeah.
about it. It's just
Yeah.
hits them in the.
What's I forget her name. who used to play the bucket?
Oh,
in your
Leanne.
band?
Oh, Leanne,
Yeah. So
yeah.
she came in after JM.
Yeah, well, see, I was hellbound.
She's a
in-
special talent because man,
She is easily
If you
one of
got-
the best people I've ever met in my
you
life.
got 5 minutes with her, man, and you weren't hooked, man.
She's great. And,
She was awesome.
and when she joined, that's when Mr. Kim's tail really started wagging.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
He's like, oh, I can really do
Because
something
well,
with this
the
band.
four of us, we don't really have any in Korean they call it egyo, like charisma or anything like that. I mean, John had some, but Leanne has it in spades. So he kind of put her front and center.
Yeah.
You know, playing the buckets and stuff like that. And, you know, and she can belt. She can sing like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
She was fun.
Oh, she's a hoot, absolute hoot.
So, Brian, you wouldn't allow drums, but a
Well-
bucket's okay in the band,
Well,
right? So we
I
with that.
got outvoted. It was like it's got to happen. It's got to happen. And eventually, I'd gotten over myself and was like, you know, Ryan, just shut the fuck up. And joined her in I think it was like we had dinner with Leanne, and I was like, oh, this is a one of a kind of woman here. So she has got to join, and I'm really glad I shut up and had her join. It was.
Can someone give a genesis of the fried chicken song?
That is John Brown's wife's translation. So that we sing a Korean an Ulsan localized version of Chicken Fried by the Zag Brown Band, and originally it was kind of a challenge for John Brown's wife Kang Tae-young. She wanted to adapt it to make it localized to not Korea only, but specifically Ulsan.
Oh, it's awesome.
So-
that's like House of the Rising Sun. I forgot to send you that video. That we talked about that last time we met. House of the Rising Sun. There was like the original song, and then it got each region made
got
kind of their
localized.
own thing. Yeah.
But yeah, that she did. She made a localized version of it. So if she told us that if we were to play that in Busan or something, it wouldn't land because the references in the song are so local to Ulsan.
Okay.
And so that became easily our biggest song. Without
I think I saw you guys play it at a festival. Maybe jazz festival.
yeah. Probably.
yeah, we
I remember seeing that and going, holy shit, these guys are for real, man. That was
Well, there was one time we were playing it, and we started it out with this kind of like slow intro, like we kind of I don't even know the term for it, but we would start with this kind of like
I think that's the term.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that's what they teach at Juilliard, you know, for that kind of intro. But there was this guy that was doing the sound editing, and remember he came up to me and says, "Oh man, that's a great entry for that song because you guys are emulating the sound of chicken being fried." Like, oh yeah,
Dropping it into the fire.
yeah. It's the sound of the chicken being lowered into oil.
Exactly why we
I'm
did
glad you
Exactly.
caught that part.
You know what?
Usually people don't get that.
It's a
Yeah.
jiggle, I think.
Yeah,
is in Korean. Yeah. It's a
People really don't
jiggle.
catch on that, but yeah, that became our one of the biggest ones we had. We had one other Korean localized song, song by Loudon Wainwright called "The Swimming Song." We had that one in Korean, but I think we didn't play that.
Well, we also had Kim Kwang-sok, The Wind.
Well, no,
which is
but
a
I mean a
thing. Oh, sorry,
translated song.
translated
Yeah,
song. Yeah.
yeah, translated one. We also, but like Andy said, we also did I think the song in Korean is just called "Bottom."
It's like Where the Wind Blows
Where the wind
or
goes.
something. Yeah, bottom.
That one also became pretty quite big.
I want to ask you guys about, I don't know what, or maybe Bry, if someone asked you about the music scene in Ulsan, I mean, I could come up with probably like 15 band names over the years. But I think like 14 of them are you guys.
Well, I've been at
So what is-
Rotating
Well,
members.
see,
And I'm like, shit, man, they made an album with this group, Temper, whatever, and now someone's recording another. It's the same guys minus one guy. Like, why do you keep changing the?
Oh, now
Can't you just keep the band name and switch? I mean, the bluegrass or the rock,
Yeah.
and then just the bass guy's out or the drummer's out, but you keep the same name so you can build the momentum. Because I kind of get used to one of them or seeing or hearing. I'm like, man, they got some good stuff going. And then, but I don't know. My thinking is, I could tell you 100 names, but none of them lasted more than 8 to 12 months.
You're looking through through the lens of like hockey franchises where the players substitute.
yeah, it's all
in and
free
out.
agency.
No, so one, like, how does it? Is that just no? We got to change the name, not just sub a guy in or out.
Well, to
or-
be honest with you, you got Andy here, and he in case you don't know, Andy is the music producer of Ulsan.
Yeah.
You're working with like 8, 9, well, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, but at least 4 different groups right now, right?
Right. Currently,
Well, you got.
I have.
We got the Hat
recently-
Rabbits.
Yeah, so after this, I'm going to go and
00.
record 00. And that's kind of what you're saying, because 00 is the stops with one different member,
And the
which
stops
is
was
Temper with three different members.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I think Patrick just associates those songs with that
That
period
group.
of his life
Yeah.
and that name and that album cover, and then when he gets a new
Yeah.
project going, he wants to, you know.
So
Yeah,
is he
it's
the,
like
is
a-
he the guy who says let's?
He's
We
sort
need
of like
something
Kinda.
yeah, he's sort
Yeah.
of that guy.
Because
yeah.
like the only other band that I knew that had a big switchover was when the Elsewheres became Argyle Condor. But there was a pretty big exodus of people who left. But they kept those songs. Like Argyle Condor still played Elsewhere songs.
I remember seeing that name, Argyle Condor.
Yeah. And then
So has there been one? It seems like Patrick's always the center. It's always involves him one way or another. Most of the bands that have existed here, but now Nathan's wife from Donggu.
oh, Carrot Cake.
Yeah, Carrot
Oh,
Cake.
yeah.
There's always been one or two bands in Donggu because they used to play the Compound, and they used to play a couple nights a week because that was the local band. But I'm glad to see them back kind of in the mix and bringing some of those people over to this side because
I don't know about Carrot Cake.
Yeah.
This is the first time I heard.
Oh
of
yeah,
it.
it's
Sure.
Tony the he's the bassist in Carrot Cake and it's
Meg's the lead singer.
a bunch of the engineers from Donggu. Andy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Meg's husband works there, and the other two guys are also from
Yeah.
from Donggu.
Yeah, they just do covers mainly.
Cool.
You know, the classic bar tunes. They're
Yeah.
good.
That's it. It's good
Yeah.
to get the people going
Yeah.
and singing along. And,
Caroline.
Exactly. They got a big set list. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
good for them.
but I was glad to see them kind of come back in. But otherwise, I think Patrick's kind of the centerpiece for most of them.
Yeah, he's a bit of a driving force and he has a lot of connections and he's really good at getting himself out there and booking gigs and
Yeah,
I still
Pushing
love
stuff
the. Oh, what is it? 417? Oh, I fucked that up.
917.
917.
Yeah,
Shit.
yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
It's man.
what's that?
Yeah, the last song that Shane played on the podcast
On our
about the
podcast.
story
Yeah,
about
yeah,
their kind
yeah.
of journey.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah,
that's
it's
that's
really
just
good.
it's a moment in time for
Yeah,
for
yeah.
that. That's
the
a
train
real
number
step.
and,
Yeah.
When
That's
you
really,
when you
really
gotta
cool.
when you gotta go to Busan or wherever Daegu or whatever, is that like a I want to do it, but I don't really like when we have a hockey game in Busan or Daegu. It's like, why don't they just come here?
so
Yeah,
I want to play, but it's a bit
But
of
there
a
might
pain in the
be-
ass going.
for music, is there a freedom in going to a new audience?
There is,
yeah.
So
Oh, there definitely is. Yeah.
I recently just played a show in Daegu,
Yeah.
and yeah, it's like, oh, all these people are going to be listening to it for the first time, and
Yeah.
not as nervous. And
Yeah, like.
But are you worried about how it hits, or if they're interested, or if they're
every
into
time,
it?
yeah.
or-
Anytime
never have to go back.
but if
anytime you
it
have a new
doesn't hit,
thing-
you just
I mean, if you're doing something brand new for the first time in front of anybody, you're always going to be a little bit nervous. So you wonder, are these songs going to hit or something like that? But it's a nervous excitement because like if Temper played Ulsan 8 times in a row, there's going to be diminishing returns. Like, oh, we've heard the sellers. You're
you're
going to
feel
get
like you have to do something
fatigued.
different.
But then you hear like, okay, we're going to go to Gwangju to play a brand new bar, brand new setup. You're nervous for a few reasons. One, do they have the right equipment?
Oh, that's right. You guys are traveling with your own shit.
Yeah. Do they have the right equipment? Do they have enough mics? Is the sound quality going to be good? Are there going to be enough people there?
In the end, is it just have one more shot of soju and who cares? Like it doesn't matter. Everybody's drinking. The sound quality we
well-
can't change. Let's just do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, like well, when I played, I damn near had a panic attack every time before we played. So, but the second, the second though I hit that first note, it immediately melted away. But Patrick was completely different. Patrick, he's at home on a stage.
Oh, that's awesome.
the thing is with acoustic music like the Lost Boys,
Yeah.
it's notoriously hard to
Yes,
mic and play
yes.
live because you've got a lot of feedback. Acoustic instruments, electric stuff, it's so
Plug and
much
play.
easier. So
Yeah.
we
Who are
always
the-
have big feedback.
What's the
things.
girl group called? Walking After You.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That great.
Like I don't know what they expect when they come to Stickies, but man, those were the best. Those were so fun, and I don't know if they would expect 10 people or 100 people.
But that's the thing, they're going to give their all when they step on that stage.
yeah, they're pros. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are so fun.
Yeah, that's the thing that differentiates something like Lost Boys, amateurs playing, having some fun, as opposed to them who that's their livelihood.
Yeah, like they
If
have to
I
pull
won the lottery, I'd donate 50 grand to those girls and try and help them.
It is a fantastic show every time.
Because the first time I saw them, like that was unheard of. Okay, one girl in a band, fine. 2 maybe. To see that level of hardcoreness, and I'm like, what do your parents think? Where do you practice? Like, this is not. I'm sure there's no other groups like that in Korea that give that much of their all.
Do you
They
guys-
were just so fun.
Do you guys know Seaweed Mustache?
Seaweed
But I
mustache.
love that name.
Miyaksuya, yeah.
Oh,
From Busan. I got
And the only mustache thing I could think of was a stash potato.
Stash potatoes.
Stash. Oh, dude, I saw a picture from. They did one of the festivals, and they were playing acoustic tunes for us in our own little private kind of thing
man.
after they were done. Oh, so that is
Now the Mr.
funniest.
Kim connection too. Kind of
So
stuff.
what is the current status of the music scene here? As long as Patrick's here, it's going. Is that kind of it?
Heavy
Or
shoulder.
That,
you're,
that seems to be the case, you know.
you're
now.
taking off? I mean, Shane left.
Yeah.
Did you start producing more once he left?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Oh, that's
And the poor man's
Is there
That's,
anybody waiting in the wings there to?
Ulsan doesn't have that wide a music scene like Busan.
No, but Shane used to kind of reach. He was doing stuff all over the place, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
is there anyone in Busan who would be the go-to after
There is
you
actually
leave? or-
there's the bass player from Daisy Gun, Marnus, South African guy.
Yeah.
He actually just mixed my band's album because
Nice.
you don't do your own music kind of thing. He's really good results, and he's got a little studio, and
Cool.
he mixed and mastered their own album, Daisy Gun.
Nice.
Shout out to those guys. It's a really good album.
Daisy Gun.
So
Yeah, Daisy Gun.
so that's the kind of recording side. And what about in terms of bands and stuff? You guys still?
I've been playing. I because of my schedule, I don't really have the ability to play the band like 0 or anything like that anymore. I just don't have the schedule opening. But if you meet somebody or you happen to meet someone who plays music and you can get the schedule work out, and you practice and you play. And the best way to go about it is just go to Mr. Kim, get some busking gigs, and there you go. That's the
And
easiest,
there's
best way to start
also
out.
Unfettered.
Oh,
JJ's.
right, yeah, JJ's
anyone
gang,
can
yeah.
get up there and play. So last night they had a couple of musicians
I saw
in
the
there.
violinist and the guitarist, maybe.
yeah.
playing
So it's
together.
cool that there's some place to play.
I like that opportunity, but I still think so many people don't know anything, don't know about it. It's hard to get out to everybody, and I try and encourage my students. Like lots of the international students are great musicians, but they're scared to go. They don't know what to go because it's not kind of their group or their scene, right?
Oh, yeah.
But if you're a musician, then either one, join the church, because the church. Remember I don't know what church you've been to, but you said the Filipino one. But the Ghanaians, I mean, they were fantastic at Conet's church. All of them come over playing instruments, but you don't know where. If you don't know how to get in, and you don't hang out with those people, then you don't know. But
Yeah.
I find Conet's church, man, so many talented music. They play the Christmas thing.
Yeah.
So many talented musicians, and I think lots of the international students, they don't have a way to connect to those groups because it's not in their circle. But there's definitely a couple good spots there that if they can get into. But I wonder connecting, like the teachers obviously connect through drinking and hanging out on the weekends and you meet them, but Unfettered is a great way to.
Well, if you're not a big
to
drinker
get
or
out
anything
there.
like that, it'd be hard to meet those people or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's where the church may come in.
I think there's a need for like one more live music venue
Yeah.
in Ulsan. Like there's just not that much. Like now Sticky's.
Have you been to that
closed.
place in Junggu? I don't know, maybe 7th, 8th floor, overlooks the river. It's kind of a long, narrow place. I've been to watch my wife's friend's husband. They have like a teacher band, and they play there, and it's a great place. I mean, it's not
Outdoor?
No, indoor. I don't know if it's foreigner friendly in the way of people getting smashed and wild. It's kind of more, a little bit more
Focused on the music.
upscale-y, but if you wanted to actually play, that place is awesome, and it's got a great setup there or whatever, and a bar at the back, and that place is really cool. I don't know, I'm sure Mr. Kim knows exactly the place that I'm talking about, but when I went there the first time, I was like, this is a solid place to hear a band play. Yeah.
Nice.
This Korean life.
We got music. We got brewing beer as
Oh,
well.
I haven't done that in years. Yeah, there's a small group of us that used to brew back in the day.
Well, that was I remember that was a thing.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say 2012.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So earlier we were talking about the Elsewheres. The frontman for the Elsewheres, John, his wife, and forgive me, I can't remember her name right now. She was a brewer, and we never brewed together. We'd always share recipes. It sort of take me up. I can't remember her name. She
Blanking
sang
to-
with him a couple times.
Yeah, yeah.
Either way, I found out that she brewed. There's an Ulsan brewers group, but none of us ever met up. But we
We
shared
did.
some ideas.
I went there. We ate at the French fry place at Mugo. There was
Yeah.
one official meetup. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there was a meetup. Okay. Yeah. So I joined after the fact, but
Yeah.
yeah, we shared some ideas, or like where can I get this ingredient, stuff like that. But I remember I got my setup from a Canadian fellow who's moving back, and the second I get a place that has a spare room, like if I had a place like this with the apartment recording it, yeah, I would have a brewery inside of 10 seconds.
Really?
Oh
You
yeah,
wanna brew beer here?
you're offering them. Fuck
Yeah.
yeah.
You've even got, and Brian, you've got a name for your brewery, and it's fitting.
Oh
What-
yeah.
What is
yeah.
the name you had?
Yeah, Moonsu Breweries.
There you go.
Moonsu
Yeah.
Brewery?
Yeah.
Dude, you can see Moonsu Mountain from here.
Yeah,
This is-
I
this is
remember
over
I used to workshop names with Andy. Like, what was that? I had the Samsung Stout. Was that
Yeah,
right?
you get this.
Yeah, but they kind of make it sort of alliterative.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, you got Mugudong mead.
Oh, I made mead with Fred.
Oh yeah. Oh, mead is incredibly easy. There's a fella in Okdong that I met. He joined the D&D group. I guess we'll probably get to that shortly. But yeah, he makes mead. I talked to him about it. That's how I got into brewing is mead, because you put some honey in water,
Yeah.
mix it up, throw some yeast, let it rot away,
Yeah.
get drunk off your own supply in a couple weeks.
But
Yeah.
you never brewed back home, did you?
Yeah,
Oh, you did?
yeah, I brewed back home. Yeah,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I started back home with a couple friends. Only did it. I think we made maybe like 3 or 4 batches, but I didn't really get into it properly till I came out here. When I had mostly resources because it's a bit expensive. But yeah, you go online, you learn how to do it properly. You buy some software that helps you keep track of what you're doing, and you kind of get behind the science of it. And instead of becoming like a lucky brewer who makes 5 batches and 2 of them are good because he got lucky, you become more consistent and you make 5 batches and 5 of them are pretty good, and you get to the point where you can experiment. Like there were some fellas in Seoul that made a kimchi beer. They put some kimchi in with their wort. That's what the beer's called before it ferments. And yeah, they made that. It was the guys at I think it was the same fellas that ran the Rocky Mountain Tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was those fellas. So they're
Okay.
associated with them. But yeah, you get to the point where you can experiment, have some fun, and you see some new ingredients. Like, I wonder what that would be like in a brew. I wonder how that would taste.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually bought a brewing kit and
Yeah.
never used it. It sat on that veranda for
Yeah.
2 years. I was like, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
One of the things that kept me back was worrying about, putting all the time into it and then it going sour. Like the wort has some shit in it, whatever, and the
Yeah.
beer goes bad. How finicky is it? Is it a
Okay.
pretty forgiving process?
If you're as long as you're, for lack of a better word, responsible and keeping your stuff sanitized and properly maintained, you're good.
Okay.
If you have a batch that goes sour, it means it got infected with a bacteria, and you shouldn't drink it. Then it's because you didn't clean properly or you didn't sanitize properly. But as long as you're doing your process fine, keep everything nice and clean, keep everything sanitized, you're gonna make a good brew 99.9% of the time.
Nice.
Or you're gonna make a brew that's not
Drinkable.
that's not spoiled. Let's say.
But how important is temperature? Don't you have to keep it at
Yeah, you have. It depends on the kind of brew you're making. If you're making a lager, you need to keep it more. You need to keep the temperature much more controlled. It needs to be a bit cooler. If you're making an ale, they tend to be a bit more forgiving with room temperatures. But yeah, you do want to let it ferment in an area that has more less variation in temperature. So like, you don't put it on a veranda where the sun's going to come in and then you're going to have a big fluctuation in temperature there. It's best to keep it in actually the room again where we're recording at. This would be perfect because it seems you could keep a pretty consistent temperature in here.
Yeah.
Moonsu Breweries, man?
Yeah.
Those are breweries.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There you
Put a
go.
little sign up there.
Oh yeah. But I tell you, it is fun to brew. Actually, one of the best parts about brewing is when you share it with your friends.
Well, we could share it with our guests here.
Oh yeah. Well, Andy's had
had it, man.
quite a few. Yeah.
And you
Quite
brought,
a few.
you brought one in. He used to bring them into Lost Boys practices. And there
Yeah.
you go.
I think the best one I ever made
Great.
was that wheat beer there.
Oh, they're good. But there was some residue on the bottom, and you said,
Yeah, well,
you don't drink the last centimeter.
Yeah,
I'm
so-
like, too late.
Okay, so there's nothing.
I'm blind in my left eye.
Yeah, it's called troop. So what you do is in order to ferment it, you put the beer into a bottle, and then as you're bottling it, you add a small amount of sugar because when the yeast in the beer, they're eating up that sugar, and one of the things they put off is carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
All right, so when you put it under pressure, that carbon dioxide gets forced into the liquid, and when you pop it open, that's the carbonation. That yeast doesn't just disappear; it dies and goes to the bottom and settles on the bottom. So that's what that is. In most commercial breweries, they remove all that and they force carbon dioxide into it, force it under pressure. So that's why they don't have any on the bottom. If you ever get a beer that says it's bottle conditioned, that's what it means. And there's a small bit of yeast on the bottom. It won't kill you. It doesn't taste particularly good. If you're backed up, if you haven't been to the bathroom in a day or two, have some of that. It'll sort you out real fast.
Yeah.
Or the Bulldog Bokemeal.
Yeah. Did you guys, speaking of that,
one comes out fire.
speaking of the Bulldog Pokemon, did you guys hear that Denmark banned that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Their food administration said it was poison.
And they should. The owner.
Korea should be bringing them here on a free tourism tour.
They said
and
people
show 'em.
were hoarding them, and they're going like, "Give me a box! I want a box!"
Yeah.
But
Oh,
I mean,
man.
nothing promotes your brand better than a country canceling.
Oh,
you.
I tell you,
Yeah.
if you want to get somebody to not do something, tell them they can't do it. Or if you want to get somebody to do something, tell them they can't.
Yeah, speaking of brewing and
Yeah.
prohibition and all that.
Anyways, brewing beer. Okay, so we're starting Munsu breweries again.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
firing this back
Well,
up.
now that you're giving me a space for it, you bet your ass.
Yeah,
I'll do
just
your
don't
logo.
blow anything up. That's all I ask. I don't need any fires
I'll
and-
do my best, but we'll try not to brew
You
it
have
up.
to shave your head, and it'll be like Breaking Bad.
Oh, Jesus
Breaking
Christ.
Brewery.
Breaking Brews.
Breaking Brews.
Oh, shit, wait, that might be another good name.
Brian Breaking Brews. B
Wait.
cubed.
Wait. That's the name of the drinking club. Brian's Breaking Brews.
All right.
Then we gotta find that other Brian that's floating around town. But well, maybe not.
He can be your tester.
Yeah.
Lock him in a glass room, just watch him. Like, okay, he's hammered already. It works.
Give me the soju, here's a beer.
It works.
It'll be like Will Smith in I Am Legend. We'll just watch him through the window over there. He's running head first.
It's
into it,
having no
smash.
effect on him. How do you measure the alcohol percentage?
So yeah, what you do is
Drive home.
drink
6 minutes.
drink forward, see how much you want to call an ex-girlfriend. So what you do is you have this thing called a hydrometer, and it measures the amount of sugar in your beer. You take a measurement before you ferment. You take a measure after, and it tells you the specific gravity, how much sugar is inside. Then you do a bit of math, and based on the amount of sugar that's gone, will give you an estimation of how strong your beer is. Plus, most yeasts will only ferment up to a certain amount. Some yeasts are stronger than others. Like there's some yeasts out there that can go up to 12, but typically speaking, the average yeast is going to go between 4.5 and 5.
I don't care what your fucking breathalyzer says. My hydrometer says I'm fine.
Oh, I can imagine doing that. Look, it says on the glass thing off the spur. It says I'm good.
You're blowing into the hydrometer.
But you had no idea what your percentages were, right? You just guessing.
When I first started, I had no clue because it was like, okay, well, let yeast rot beer. Put beer in bottle, drink, and then after 2-3 bottles, at the time I started brewing, I lived with a. You'll never guess what the name of my roommate was when I started brewing.
Right?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Hey, shout out to Brian Gallion if you happen to be listening. I know you're not. But he and I started brewing together, and I remember we drank our third. At the time, it came in just liter bottles when we bottled in. We're on bottle number 3, and we're like, getting drunk. I don't know what you're saying. I feel fine. I feel fine. My sister happened to swing by. She goes, "Man, you guys are hammered." It worked. Missed the high five. But yeah, we had no idea how strong it was. Then I come out here, learned how to measure it up, and now all the beers I gave you, I knew I had a pretty good idea of what the percentages were.
Enough to not
Yeah.
drive home on your bike.
Because
Yep.
you see some beers at 15%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's on on purpose.
well,
and all that, but
it depends on the yeast. Like what you're doing when you're brewing is you're letting yeast die in their own shit. So so yeast, whenever yeast are eating up the sugar, they're putting off carbon dioxide and alcohol, ethanol. That's what we want. And so eventually the beer becomes so strong that their shit kills them, and they die. And some yeast have been bred to be stronger to live.
Shit eaters.
Yeah, to live stronger in their own
Yeah.
shit. Those are the ones that get up to 12, like wine yeast, champagne yeast. Those guys.
I drank a 9% beer from the mart over
Yeah.
here one time, and it tastes like whiskey. Like it was.
Oh, yeah.
It was strong.
I was just gonna say, does the percentage of alcohol change the taste drastically?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Because I would I would prefer
Drink a Bud Light versus anything else.
I mean, I don't do it anymore, but drinking 10 or 12 beers, you just get so bloated and just go to the. I prefer if it was twice the power and half the beers.
It's called whiskey.
No, but if you, that's what I mean. Like if you like the taste of a beer and you want a cold beer, then is there can you get one that tastes like a 4%, 3-4% beer that's
you know what? I think there's a market for that.
Because guys don't want to
Get
drink
drunk
whiskey.
quicker. Yeah.
It's not just that. It's so I mean, you don't have to drink 20 beers. Like
Beer
I don't mean beer to get drunk,
You're
but if you
right,
were just sitting on the patio, one beer is just a beer. There's no effect, but maybe having 2-3 beers at 7, 8, 9%.
Oh, I'd say
think I
just have a Boilermaker at that point.
What was the first one in the States? Red Dog? Is it Red Dog? They came up with the first like 7, 20 years ago, 7, 8%.
I remember Red Dog.
Let's try a Red Dog because that was going to be like a beer supercharged
I think I know where you're going at. I think I know where.
Because he said red. And
so Andy
what's the
here
name of
heard
that
the word
beer?
red and his eyes kind of lit because way back in the day there was a beer sold in Korea called Cass Red.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I hated it.
6.9. Oh, I loved the shit.
I know you did.
Absolutely loved it. It was 6.9%, and 2 big bottles of that would get you fucking astronomical.
Yes, red. That's right.
Oh yeah.
2-liter plastic bottles.
Oh yeah.
Those,
Oh yeah. I used to go to the mart, grab 2 of those, play some video games, listen to some music, and.
Yeah, I just thought maybe a little more effect for bang for your buck or whatever. If you're going for 2 beers, maybe 2 beers get you a little looser.
Yeah, but no, you can definitely fortify them. You can add more liquor to them later. But when you have more, if you let it ferment more, I mean, I'm sure you've had 151.
God, that is brutal.
That's pretty much straight alcohol, right? Well, everything would be straight alcohol. Now you know the taste of that, right?
Yeah.
So so that's the taste that's going to get added to beer if it's higher alcohol. That's why you add hops to try to chill that out a little bit. So
not interested in a beer tasting like a whiskey.
Yeah. So if you do want a higher alcohol beer, now again, if there's any brewers out there, I'm pretty sure all you guys are screaming at me right now, and direct all your emails to Brian at thiskoreanlife.com. But yeah, so if you want a higher alcohol beer, then you would add more hops to offset that boozy taste. That's why your IPAs tends to be why IPAs could be stronger, because they're so hoppy that you don't notice the
Koreans just
taste.
add a little shot of soju in there and.
Yeah.
Boofing it still a thing?
I don't like the taste.
Only
But
if you want to get on the Supreme Court.
their Somek is how to level up. I think they don't. For a lot of them, I think they don't want the bloatedness of beer. They do want the drunken effect. But I don't know who the hell would say put a shot of soju in your beer.
When you really question them like sober about it, they think it's so chiwo. Like they say like it's. That those mixed flavors are so refreshing and cool.
No,
and that's what
the fact is that taste is not the soju taste of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so they can get through it, and it's kind of the beer taste without the bloatedness. So it's just kind of like a compromise they've made.
It's just having your chaser at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a utility drink. It's meant to get you somewhere faster. It's a utility drink.
Yeah.
That's not gross.
Yeah, I mean,
Not as gross as just having soju.
like I'm not the biggest fan of soju. I like it if I'm having some barbecue or something like that. I like ice cold soju with some ice cold soju with some soju. Fantastic drink.
Yeah.
But if I'm having something particularly greasy like samgyeopsal or something like that, oh yeah, soju sounds pretty nice. If I'm having chicken, no thank you. Or
Chimek.
baked chicken, yeah.
Oh, is this just living in Korea? They've put the chimek into your brain. You have to have.
After 15 years, I think a part of it just kind of goes into your DNA.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, if they said it was chiso and somebody came up with a campaign to make Cass Red or lemon soju or whatever the new thing with chicken, they would get on it. I mean, a couple traditional ajishis would stay to the chimek, but the young generation would go, oh, it's sochi now. Sochi, chiso, okay, chiso.
I think it's a little bit like red wine and red meat, white wine and fish kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like they complement each other
Yeah.
in a way.
But does a 20-year-old know that? Like,
Yeah,
come on, the uni
yeah.
kid's like chimek. Chimek wasn't a thing 20 years ago.
Well, God, imagine yourself at 20 years old. You at the time you think you know everything, and then I think part of getting older and getting wiser is realizing that you didn't know shit.
Yeah.
But
Mine would have been soju because it gets you there faster and cheaper.
Oh yeah.
So ours would have been chicken and soju, pizza and soju. It was anything in soju.
That was the thing. Like back in the day, if you had 2001 and you couldn't afford to go to the bar, pop into the GS25, you're walking out with 3 bottles of soju and probably a mixer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Fanta.
And you're getting ripped with shit.
But beer is so cheap. So
Yeah.
Oh,
for me.
man.
But if I had soju at uni time, I would have been on it
Oh, God, yeah.
for sure.
That's, I mean, that was one of the big things stopping me from probably drinking more was the price of alcohol at home. And you come here and you're like, ooh, this is way too cheap and they're paying me way too much. This is, it's not,
well,
That's
Cigarettes.
going to Florida now.
cigarettes.
Couple that with you know, I'm going to come out to Korea and before I get there, I'm going to make sure that I quit smoking. Nope.
Yeah,
$2
I find
a pack.
that's a huge thing here with people coming.
Although-
And I feel bad for the guys who actually quit because it's probably impossible for them to quit here once they get into the social
I don't
scene.
think the price has really changed that much.
Is it still
in 15
$4.5 now?
years.
No, but it was $1.50 when we came. What about you? Yeah.
When I first got here, it was
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah, we were paying
Okay.
about the same as
Yeah, it's
yeah.
2.5.
1, 2, 3, 4 is not that big of a jump, but it's still 100%. I mean, it's
Yeah.
double.
Yeah.
I quit in 2006 in Canada. It was $10-11 a pack.
Yeah.
We're up to like 40 New Zealand
I'm-
dollars. I swear to God, yeah.
That's
insane.
Yeah.
Can I have a smoke? Fuck off.
God, imagine like, hey, can I have a smoke? And I look at you like, oh yeah, I got
Here,
$4
go buy
on
me a
it.
drink. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be it. Yeah, I trade you a drink for a smoke.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's like, yeah,
God,
can you
yeah.
pack it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Yeah.
Jeez.
God, man, you could probably sell. You could actually make a business in New Zealand selling singles at that price.
Well, AJ does it in Canada. He's he put an in-ground pool in last week, man.
I'm
single
surprised. I'm
cigarettes.
surprised that they haven't jacked the price up more here yet, but
Although you are
Yeah.
seeing a lot less smoking than way back in the past.
a lot more vaping and
More
a lot more,
vaping, yeah.
a lot more women smokers.
I don't know if I
So
just
many more.
noticed it recently. I thought I've seen recently. It's weird that you said that. I just had that thought the other day. Like, man, so many people are smoking outside, and females just ripping darts,
Huge,
walking
huge,
down the
huge.
street. Maybe it's because I lived near the uni, but
No, I think they
It's,
used to. They just used to do it in the bathrooms.
Oh
You
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
see
yeah. They were always smoking.
But
they,
we
they
were
just,
at-
they were just hiding. But
We
now
were
like,
at halftime at the soccer game,
yeah.
and I brought one of the nephews to the bathroom, and you would have thought Obama. Then the parade was coming through because that whole area above the lake park there was like probably 5,000 people smoking. I was like, whoa! When they go, they're all smoking. I said, yeah.
Oh damn.
yeah, it's crazy.
Whoa! I think the vape has
Yeah.
so many uni kids now on the vape. But
Damn.
before it used to be free cigarettes in the army. That's not the case anymore. But
Wow, crazy.
Well, I mean, if they're going to force you to
Camels
join, you
and-
might as well get something out of it.
every guy used to
I-
come out of the army full smoker, and then they kind of had you can't be a rich developed country and be giving your guys cigarettes. And they said, okay, well, we'll give you the allowance coupons. You have to go off the base to the 7-Eleven and turn your coupons in for cigarettes. Then it was like it's not us. They're choosing to do it.
Look, they can spend their coupons on soju.
Yeah, but now they don't have any of that. So it's changed a lot. But man, it seems now like with the freedom maybe of the kids that there's not as much pressure and this. I mean, from the parents or the looking pretty or being proper. That now it's just like so many young people smoking. It's wild.
Can I run an idea past you guys?
Yeah.
Because my apartment has this problem with smokers. They'd smoke in certain area, and then the first floor residents would complain because of the smoke. So they moved them over here, and now they're complaining, and people are still smoking where they shouldn't.
Yeah.
And there's just this big thing going on in the apartment. So I had this idea. Why not make the roof the smoking area? Because you're not going to be
Yeah.
bothering anyone,
That's true. I mean,
and it's just
if it's on the
sitting
first,
there.
if they put the smoking area in the first floor, everybody has to go through there.
yeah.
I think there's a social conscious about the roofs in Korea.
Yeah. So I asked to do farming on the roof here when I lived
Farming?
here.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Like a garden or something like
whatever.
that.
Yeah. And the guy's like, "Are you crazy? You'll jump off." I was like, "What are you talking about?"
Why?
Yeah.
would
Like,
I-
I think there's that
Yeah.
there's that unconscious
Okay, yeah.
idea about the roofs in Korea.
Yeah.
But you see now, like the villas, lots of villas and stuff. There's farming on the roof. Like from
Oh,
my place, I
yeah.
overlook all the villas, and it's all
The,
farming
well,
and laundry.
The
And
The
fella
new
my super does
apartment-
it. Yeah.
The new apartment there by where Mad Kiwi used to be, they have a balcony. Each apartment has a balcony, now, which is kind of rare to see.
but we had our place in Anyang there, and we would barbecue, and then you get complaints from, they don't think it's hot, so they got the windows open, letting the air go through, and my whatever sausage, steak, samgyeopsal is being infused into their laundry. And they're like, I just washed the clothes and now I smell like samgyeopsal. I didn't even go out yet. Like, you guys can't barbecue. I'm like, well, we have this huge patio. What's it for if you can't barbecue? Like, this is Korea. You can tell me we got a big patio and we can't barbecue?
Yeah.
But you got to be considerate of others. So the rooftop would solve that. But I think there's other if you could smoke up there, then it's let's drink and smoke up there, then it's the party place, and then
This Korean life.
D&D.
D&D.
I was interested again since the beginning of Stranger Things, and you were kind enough to show me the ropes, and we had even one.
We had a session here.
Session, yes, not a campaign. Campaign's the whole thing.
Oh, yeah, a
Session's
campaign
one thing,
is the whole thing. I think of a campaign as like a television season,
yeah.
and a session would be
an episode. All right. Yeah, man. Where did you get your introduction? Who was the person kind enough to show you the ropes?
I played once in college, and I did my best to not get into D&D because there was a stigma associated with it.
I was gonna say that's probably what I know of
Yeah,
D&D
me
from
too.
high school time
Yeah.
or whatever was like that probably the same stigma.
Well, the thing is, I was already a big enough nerd, and I was like, listen, I don't want to go whole. I'm not going whole hog. I'm not going. I'm not. No way, man. Not this guy. Not gonna get me to roll any dice, you sons of bitches.
But the Brewing Beer kind of offset it, surely.
Yeah, that's what. That's what.
This guy plays Dungeons and Dragons.
And he plays bass.
That's right. That's right. Brewing the beer and playing bass offset the video games and Star Wars. That's how it works. But then, so I played once in college, and I didn't really have a good time. The DM, the guy running the story, it wasn't really the nicest fellow in the world. And so that kind of turned me up. I'm like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to play a nerd game anyway, so I'm going to go out there and do, real not nerd shit like watch Firefly for the 8,000th time. But yeah, then right before the pandemic, I started playing with a friend of mine that just left, Michelle. She got me back into it. Well, I guess got me into it. She was the first person I ever played with, and I had a blast. It was a little bit before Stranger Things. I'm like, this is cool. Like, you make up your own story. I looked at it as an analog video game. Like, I have my character. I'm just going to do everything. And you get used to how you play. You get used to telling the story element of it. I liked it because there's a story part of it. There's a little bit of acting involved with the role play. There's some drama involved. There's magic and dragons and shit like that. And you can kind of do whatever you want in the game. So I got into it. And then there's another fella, Pat Becker. He used to run a bunch of games. And I started playing with him. And then we had another group going. I started playing with groups online. There's a group of Ulsaners that play online. Leanne, the drummer, is in there. I don't know if you guys remember MJ Reed from a few years ago. He's in that group. It's a bunch of old folks from Korea that just kept playing online. And
Is there a couple of New Zealanders in there too?
no New Zealanders have played. I've been trying to get New Zealanders and some Canadians who I used to play music with.
No, there is one.
You're not being facetious.
Oh no, I'm
Oh, shit.
He's trying to get me to.
Oh yeah, no, I'm trying to get the band to play.
There's a campaign, I guess, that's run by a New Zealander who used to live here. Yeah. And
There's another New Zealander.
Back in the day. Yeah.
I only know Maria. That's the only other Kiwi I know.
Kiwi Sean.
Oh wait. There's
Sean.
Sean? Oh, yeah.
Also Andy.
See him every now and then.
Andy, no, and it was one. I think it's one of Andy's buddies. I think Andy might be in on it too.
Oh, okay. No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
But yeah. So eventually started doing more storytelling, DMing, and
So just a DM is Dungeon Master?
yeah, the game master, the one,
Yeah.
the storyteller.
Yeah.
So I started doing that a lot more, and eventually made. There's an online group for, or on Kalka, there's an open group. So if anybody listening wants to throw some dice, you can check out the. I can't remember the name of it. Ulsan board games group. You can find it. There's about 14, 15 of us, and I made it because I wanted to have a place where gamers could meet, not video gamers, but people want to play tabletop games, not just D&D, but if you wanted to play Pathfinder or Blades in the Dark, there's a ton of tabletop games to play. Or if you want to play board games, it's just a place for, if you have a suggestion you want to play and you want to find players, a place to meet up and play.
Yeah.
But we've had a pretty good campaign going. Usually a solid group of 5 regular players, and then we'll get the odd maybe 2 or 3 other people who want to play. It's just a good time. It's a good way to hang out, meet some people, play a game. We don't necessarily drink. If you want to have a beer, have a beer. If you don't have a beer, don't have a beer. There's a good group of people out there who maybe want to hang out and be social, but they don't want to drink. So that was another another reason I thought about making it. Like, well, maybe there's people that want to hang out with me, but they don't want to go to a bar. They want to go to a park or something
Sure.
like that. You know, good way to be social without the pressure of having to have any alcohol.
Yeah, I felt it was a very welcoming crowd, and
yeah.
and no, like I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know exactly what the game was. You explained it, but until you're in there and doing it, it's basically like a group storytelling. So he knows the path that you're going down, then he's gonna point out like, okay, we're here. You see this, you see that. What are you gonna? How do you react?
Yeah.
Some
Okay.
shit comes flying in. You roll a dice, see if you kill it, and
It's kind of like a choose your own adventure.
That's
type.
exactly what it is.
exactly what
That's
it is.
exactly what it is. So the way any given thing goes is the dungeon master describes what you see, and the players describe what they do, and the dungeon master gives the result of their actions,
yeah.
and that's how the story continues.
Does everybody have their own cards?
There's no cards. So what you do is you have a piece of paper that has your character on it, and there is a framework that you can make a character. Now the framework is not set in stone. It's a guideline. So if you want to play it strictly, you could play it strictly. If you want to add something that's not in the books, you can talk to the storyteller or the DM and do that. But yeah, so you have your character made up. If you want to have a Pegasus, you want to fly Pegasus, well, we can work that into the story somehow.
What's the game with the cards?
You're thinking
I
of Magic the
Magic
Gathering.
cards, maybe.
Magic.
Because I remember when you came and did it at the cafe.
Yeah.
You guys were sitting outside.
Yeah.
And I'm in the kitchen there. It's like an hour in. And I was like, when are they going to start? And you guys are just sitting outside chatting.
Yeah, we were
But I
playing
didn't realize the game had
that's
actually been
the game.
going.
Yeah. The game takes place in your imagination. Yeah, you can bring something that I like to do is I have a series of maps that I bring and put them down, and you can have your characters move about. Make it looks like a proper board game. And then also, because I decided to just go whole hog on the nerd thing, is I have a YouTube playlist that has background music, so I have ambience. So if you're in a forest, put on the forest background. If you're in a battle, put on the battle music.
The best DM right there.
It is a super nerdy thing, but I mean, when you're doing it together, man, it was a really fun time.
Yeah,
And
I
it is-
think nowadays it's kind of gotten away from the nerd. I think the nerd stigma's kind of dropping out a little bit.
the
Yeah, I think
enthusiasm of the other players was. It made me feel like, oh, okay, I'm not weird.
Oh yeah,
It
if you,
was
if you
okay,
have a
man.
good group,
Yeah.
any kind of stigma you have attached to it goes right out the window. Like you're just sitting around hanging out telling a story.
Yeah.
So you don't use anything? You don't have characters or army guys or
You
something?
can
or-
you can if you want to. Yeah. So
I'm just trying to think of what I used to think Dungeons and Dragons and Magic was, and that was kind of the same.
yeah,
What
like
do you think guys
if,
had all kinds of player pieces or something?
Oh,
or
you could totally
cards
have
or-
that. You can absolutely have that.
printed some the other day.
Yeah. Like, you can print yours like Brian does. You can design them. And he's offered to print off characters for us. You could. There's some players out there who have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on making miniature sets for their campaigns. Or you could get a piece of paper, some dry erase markers, and then say, "Hey, we're going to use our imagination. I want you to imagine that this is a big empty field. Over here's some elven-looking ruins. Have you guys seen Lord of the Rings? Yeah. Okay. Imagine that, but broken. And you have that. You have your imagination. That's how it works.
It's cool. No.
So
Yeah.
could you briefly describe your character in a nutshell?
Well, I got a couple characters I play, but I haven't played one in a while. But the character that I played most recently is an elf cleric named Mollier, and she is the character I'm playing with MJ's campaign. She is a university aged elf who comes from a rich background, but she is kind of like on a Rumspringa. She doesn't like her parents. She's like, I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge. She leaves and she meets a couple adventurers. They go along for adventures, and she is currently in the middle of a huge fight on a bridge. That if we could ever find the time to finish that fight, she'd love to do that. She's a bit standoffish. But
You got it down to the details.
oh well, that's part of the fun.
So
yeah.
what I've noticed is that the more detailed, like Anna, she has.
Oh, Anna.
She's got like a really detailed character.
Yeah.
And that influences her story or how she interacts with with what he's saying. So if you want, I mean, as a new player, I'm like, oh, I have an elf and he's a monk and he's good at fighting. There's only so many things I can do within the framework that he
Yeah.
provides. If she has more details or like he just described, then your world kind of opens a little more and you can do funny stuff.
Yeah,
or-
like you can give your person personality. Dean, he has a great backstory for his character.
yeah.
And in fact, in our next session, I'm working something up to make like for lack of a better word, a Dean centric episode or his character centric episode.
Nice.
So you have more of an attachment with your character, or the people playing with you, they get more brought into your character.
Yeah.
It is incredibly fun.
Do people usually sign up for the whole season?
Well, that the way that I designed it is that you don't have to come in for every episode. So each one is kind of like a standalone episode, like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
You could miss 4 episodes, but you haven't ultimately missed anything.
Sure.
You can get a bit of it. You can catch up.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make it that way because if I made a campaign that requires everybody to be there, well,
It's not going to go very far.
well, yeah, I mean, hell, we're all adults. We got our own lives to do and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Maybe you're busy one week, maybe you got plans or something like that. But I wanted to make it so if I can get 3 players together, then we can play. And then we just last time on whatever you get the gist of where the story was, and then you play a kind of a standalone adventure.
One side effect I didn't anticipate was kind of relying or looking forward to, or sorry, being thankful that other characters are there. Like Anna's character is like this big.
She's a big Goliath barbarian, I believe.
So she comes in with a bat and can just mash everyone, and it's weird because
Does she bring a bat to the game?
No, dude. It's just it's him telling the story about when a monster or something comes in that you gotta fight and you're rolling dice. You're like, shit, I'm good at punching or maybe doing some magic, and she comes in like, hold on, let me roll, and she's gonna hit every time, and she rolls, and you're like, oh, thank God, thank God she's here. It's weird. I don't know.
No, that's one of the fun things about the dice is the way the things are determined is the player characters say, I would like to do X. And then I, the storyteller, have a number in my mind that will determine if it's a success or a failure. And I tell them, okay, roll your dice, add a certain numbers based on the skill you want to do. Like, let's say you're moving a big block or some. I'll say, okay, I want you to roll your D20 and add your strength.
So a D20 is a 20-sided die.
Yeah, your D20 is you're doing stuff die. Anytime you're doing something, you're rolling a D20. And then you could fail. Like, if, let's say, Nate, your character is a small little hobbit. They're not particularly strong. And you're like, well, I want to move that big fucking rock. Okay, roll it. Well, you're a small fucking hobbit. You can't move it. But then at the same time, maybe you hit the right number, and that could be represented in the game by the rock was already loose in some way, or, you had an adrenaline push or a big adrenaline hit, and you're able to knock it out of the way. Yeah, so that's the D20 represents the role of chance in the game.
Is there a way to win? Like, are you
I was just gonna
playing
ask that.
against? Is there a way to win, or are you just in
One of
it
my
for
first
fun?
questions. Yeah.
Okay, okay. When you're doing a choose your own adventure, do you win?
No. Probably not. No.
No.
That would be the last
I don't know anything about it. That's why I'm usually
so-
playing stuff to win. So I'm just curious.
Yeah, so it is a game in that you are playing, but there's not really a win. You don't read Lord of the Rings or pick a story in order to win. You're reading it for the story. The adventure is the game. You don't really have a set victory. Like, okay, I've beaten the game. I beat you. I beat you. I beat you. It's you versus the environment versus
My whole life's
yeah.
been I beat you. I got
Well,
beat.
then-
That's definitely not D&D. D&D is not I beat you. I mean, you could have a character who decides to be an asshole to the group and turn evil and try to fight everybody else. You could have that.
We have one.
Did we?
Yeah, the guy that keeps throwing the jar of fucking fleas at everyone.
Prager. Oh shit! Right. Oh yeah. Okay, you could. Yeah, you could choose to play a character that. Yeah. So
Oh, man.
remember, so his in the game, his personality or his character build now is he cares only about himself, doesn't care about those around him.
That'd be me. Here,
Yeah.
free soju.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. And if you play that way, that's your choice to play it. But there's going to be consequences. Your party members might choose to kill you.
So maybe to answer your thing, when does the game end? Maybe is a better question.
Yeah.
It
Just
doesn't.
sign up for a certain amount of
So you
sessions.
so you start off at level 1, and your player only has so many abilities, and then after you do, hold on, there's more to explain. You start off as a group of adventurers, correct? That you're unknown in your place, and as you go through, as you do more stuff, you level up. You get more. According to the book, there's like a guidebook. And you can get more powers,
Yeah, more
shit to do.
abilities. You're able to do more. You get more training, and along with more levels comes more renown. Like if you killed a dragon, well, people are going to hear about that, and so now you might be known out. For the sake of conversation, let's say that you're a band who's playing in Ulsan, and somebody from Busan hears about it. Well, shit, you might get a gig in Busan. You've leveled up. You play a real big gig in Busan, you might get a big gig in Seoul. You've leveled up.
So it's like an analog version of an online game.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
You're controlling everything, not some computer
Yeah,
controller.
that's exactly what it is. The first RPGs like Final Fantasy, stuff like that, they played D&D and said, I want to make that in a computer, and that's what they did.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how it all got made.
It's nerdy, but it is a good time, man.
Oh yes,
It is.
I kind of wish I can go back to myself when I was younger, when I said that I didn't want to, I rejected it because of the nerd stigma. I wish I can go back, smack myself on the head, and just go, you know what? How about this? How instead of looking at it as a nerd thing, it's a bunch of people getting together and hanging out.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Like,
But
what's the difference
does
between
that,
doing
does that come
Find
with
it.
maturity, like that we can all understand and appreciate differently as we get older and wiser?
I'd say that's part of it, and yeah, I guess when you're, well, yes. To answer the question, yes, that does come with maturity.
Because in high school, or whatever,
Yeah.
it would be the nerdy guys who are doing that or playing
Yeah.
that. But now when you're 30, 40, 50 playing it, then it seems like a hobby and a hangout.
Yeah, you
and-
kind of look back and go, I was ridiculous to think that. But then at the same time, back then, if I had that hang up about something being nerdy, I would never have watched Firefly because nerds watch that. I was well aware of what nerds did. You know?
Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
I think I found it. You said it was a Kakao chat group?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Ulsan TTRPG
Yeah,
group.
tabletop role playing game.
Yeah, I just found it. Do you guys know a guy called Paul Copeland?
No.
So in 2013, he was posting a lot about D&D on Ulsan Online.
Where were
He
you
must
for the
have had
past 4 years for recording? Jesus Christ! This is incredible.
This is great.
Oh my God! Promote this guy.
the Jamie of
You really might just want to hire him. Have him in there. Who is it?
Lord.
Paul Copeland.
I don't know.
He
Paul
must have been
Copeland,
a dungeon master.
Well,
2013.
Ben Garrett was a dungeon master way back in the day, but he
Ben Garrett?
Yeah. He used to play.
That was the comedian guy back in.
Oh, he did the 12
he did the
Ulsan.
yeah, the
12
Ulsan
days of Hogwan or whatever.
yeah,
it
the
was.
12 Hogwan Days of Christmas or something like that.
Something
He used to be
yeah.
the trumpet player
I
in
did the
Shill's
12
band back in the day.
We did the 12 bars of Christmas.
no.
Oh God! Oh, that was a
Jesus
blackout. Yeah.
Christ. Well, this podcast just came full circle, going back to the old days and getting blackout drunk.
Oh Lord!
Yeah.
Oh, we can.
So yeah, there's been
Yeah.
D&D in Ulsan for a
Oh,
while.
for
isn't it?
ages, yeah. Like Ben used to run a game with the Elsewheres back when they played.
Well, what did
Yeah.
Aiden from the university? They used to go to
Magic.
Wabar and that was
Oh,
magic.
that's right. Yeah.
They would sit at Wabar and I was like, "How long do you sit at?" I thought those take forever. How long can you sit at Wabar playing cards?
Yeah.
Magic.
Oh no, you oh man, if there's Magic Gathering in town, geez, I'd call my buddy John. He's got my buddy Brock. He's got my old cards. I'm like, hey, I need you to ship those out. I got some guys to play
Dude,
cards.
I had a guy I know a guy who lived here.
Yeah.
Moved like back home, then moved to China, and his deck was still with his girlfriend here, or like his ex-girlfriend. He's like, yo man, listen, just to have her, I think he didn't want her to know where he lived. He goes, she's gonna send them to your house, you gotta send these to China. Like
Oh, okay.
dude, he's like, this is my deck, like I can't
Oh,
I
yeah,
can't leave
man,
it.
God,
I think it was something like that, but
Oh,
seemed
huh.
very important to the player.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the same as any other. I mean, if you talk to a gambler, they might have their special cards. I know these are my lucky dice.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, oh yeah. If you play Magic, like, you got your cards that you know are going to win every time. you know?
Another thing that'll hook you into D&D, when you show up and Brian's like, here's a little bag and it's got all the dice you need.
Oh,
in it.
yeah.
Oh, they're really cool too, man.
Is it like a
You get
welcoming
7.
ceremony where the
Yeah.
you walk through
You can go.
Everybody
to
has their own dice.
Oh, you have to. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only tool you really need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, then your character.
We
sheet.
sacrificed a goat. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
You're in
There was one group we played, or one time
Drink the
the
blood.
Ulsan group. I think one of the first times we ever met up, they accidentally burned a sheep that was actually it was a magician who had pissed off another magician, got transformed into a sheep. So the sheep hired the group to try to get him transformed back into a regular person. They accidentally set him on fire,
Oh.
and they killed the guy they were helping. So this game can go tits up real fast.
Is there someone keeping a log of what's
Yes.
happened? Because how
Yeah,
can you
me.
remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're writing everything
Oh,
down. Yeah.
Yeah, everything gets written down because there might be something I mentioned in today's game that will be referred to in 2 months.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Go back.
But
Oh.
and that's I mean the challenge of the dungeon master, because he said, I mean, my first game you mentioned something about a pond, and then I missed 2, and then I came back. I was like, what about that pond? Like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Now, there is a downside to that because if I'm telling a story and I mention a detail that means absolutely nothing, it might the players might think, oh wait, the DM mentioned a person at a person wearing a yellow shirt at the market. I'm just describing a scene. But the players hear that and they go, that might be important. It's not. It's a person at a market. But the players get hooked on it. So that's the double-edged sword. You want the players to remember this thing, they don't.
So do the players keep a log too?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a place for notes. So
Is AI have an impact on this? Because I would see some people say I can just use the automatic.
yeah. So some people are using AI to generate maps or to generate character backgrounds.
I mean the log.
Oh, the log. Oh, not that I'm aware of. No, I think the log. I write it down and keep track of it. I haven't used AI to help keep track of it.
Like the speak to text kind of recording things now.
Oh shit! No, that'd be.
Oh God,
that'd be a lot.
that'd
He
be
talks for 2 hours.
Yeah, and
We got to write it down for 2 hours, or
Well, you write down the important details around a certain thing. Like, again, yellow-haired person, yellow-haired at market, has husband hates her.
so if you took that and put this, highlight the important parts, it would miss out half of the.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to be paying attention the whole time, not just your turn or.
Yeah, you cannot play on your phone and do that game. You have to have your attention the whole time. You will miss details if you don't do it. And dungeon masters get really annoyed whenever people don't pay attention because like, all right, Andy, it's your turn. You're up in the fight. What do you want to do? Oh shit, it's my turn. Yeah.
It kind of
Oh.
sounds like something they could implement maybe on a simpler scale in elementary school or something to
I
stimulate,
do
to
play.
foster creativity and imagination.
Well, it's good you mentioned that. I do play with my fifth graders.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. They have an absolute ball
That's cool.
when we play. Like I played with them on Friday, and one of the kids, she loves it, but she does not want to kill anything. She is not going to kill anything. So,
The vegan. The vegan.
she's a special kid.
Pacifist vegan.
Yeah, so there was this elf who wound up betraying someone. And all the other kids are like, no, that elf betrayed us. We gotta kill her. And this particular student, she goes, no, she can be brought back to be a good person. We gotta be able to save her. And she wound up convincing all of her classmates to, instead of killing this traitor, which is what the story I had written goes. And now that's part of the fun is I have an idea of where the story should go. But again, choose your own adventure. Instead, they tied her up and they're interrogating her. And this student is hellbound and determined to try and reform her. Reform this character.
I know how to switch her. Just tell them to ask which country owns Dokdo.
Oh God!
Japanese. The lady said Japanese. Cut her fucking head off.
Oh,
Great speaking exercise, though, isn't it? Like,
Oh, yeah.
getting
Well,
them to.
they have to improvise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and get their
Well-
opinion across. And
Well,
argue.
Brian was trying to adapt it in some way.
Don't talk about that. That's coming soon.
Oh right. You might have,
We'll talk about that
yeah,
after.
you might want to cut that out there.
No, that's fine. It's,
But yeah,
still working on
it's
it.
incredibly cool to play it in a classroom or to bring in a simplified version of it. Yeah, I have a simplified version I play with some of my students. Instead of a dice, we do rock, paper, scissors. If you beat me,
Right.
your outcome, the outcome you want happens. If I win, the outcome I win happens. If it's if we both tie, a neutral outcome happens.
And you could also have like preset characters if they didn't want to come up
Well,
with their own.
That's what you do.
There is. I mean, D&D is quite
Yeah.
extensive, but there's other examples of games for young. I mean, kind of D&D
Yeah.
for younger kids where you choose. Do you want the hero? Do you want the big ogre? Do you want the female archer?
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah. So instead of the
Very
kids
basic.
making their character, I have a with the younger ones, the third graders. I have pre-made characters, simplified pre-made characters. Like, hey, here you go. You are a barbarian. You're able to do two things. You're able to shout and try to scare enemies, or you can mash them on the head with your hammer. You are a mage. You have two things you can do. You can smash them on the head with your stick, or you can heal your friends. You know, so you simplify it real simple so the kids can understand what's going on.
Yeah,
I've
that's
watched some cool videos. Fucking another guy from New Zealand who created his own game, and then he recorded him playing with his kids. It was really cool to watch. Even the daughter's probably like 13 or 14, and she wasn't into it. The younger son was into it, and then after a couple of things happened, you see the daughter really get into it and start rolling dice, and yeah, it's cool.
Oh, that's part of the fun when you're playing it in the classroom is seeing the kids light up. Like that particular student, the one that doesn't want to kill, in the very first episode, she found a dragon egg, and she was able to bring the dragon egg back to the mom. The dragon egg hatched, and the dragon imprinted on her, wanted to go with her, so now she has a dragon pet.
Oh.
And when I told him, I was like, oh, the dragon egg hatches, and she's like, okay. She's like looking at you, like, tell me the story, keep going. It's like, the dragon looks at you, and the mother says, oh, she's imprinted on you. You have to take care of her. And this student goes, wait, what? Like, this dragon is coming with you, student. It's your pet now. I have a pet dragon? Yeah, what's its name? Can I name her Elsa? Yeah.
That's cool.
I have Elsa the pet dragon now. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like in WoW, when you reach level 10, you can have a pet, so you don't have to walk everywhere. You can like ride the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
pet,
yeah.
speed up.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool, man.
It's a hoot.
This Korean life.
So beer brewing, music, D&D, teaching is the future in Ulsan or elsewhere?
Well, I think the future's going to be here. I believe so. I would like to get my F visa, so I'm working on my Korean, trying to get that up to snuff so I can sit the TOPIK.
If we get 4 more years of Make America Great Again, though, it would probably
Make Mugo Down
sway you back home.
I mean, my pension for red hats was standing. I've missed a couple presidencies back home. I do believe I can miss another one. Obviously, I would like to have more access or be able to see my nieces and nephews more often, but I still gotta make sure that my future's taken care of and all that stuff. And I think my future is going to be here for the for the foreseeable future. I mean, 15 years, I've kind of made an investment in myself out here.
Right.
But the only thing that worries me is, it's no secret that Korea has a low birth rate, and we work in an industry that requires kids. And
Are you suggesting you repopulate the?
I alone? You know what? It's okay. It's going to be a tall order, but
I'm up for it.
Hey, we're at like 0.7 or something.
yeah,
now?
like every year, like they think like it can't get any lower, and then the next year it gets lower. So that's the only thing that has me a little bit worried about my choice. Is we're already feeling the squeeze at our academy. Every year there's fewer and fewer kids to interview, fewer and fewer kids for the uptick. We still managed to do it. Still managed to get all of our first grade spots filled. But yeah,
But you mentioned investing in yourself, being here 15 years. It's just time to reinvest in yourself, right? I mean, whether that's a few alternative income streams or upping the education or whatever you got to do. It's just
forgetting about the beer brewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. So
Moving on malt.
now that happens,
Good on malt.
well, if that's the case, then I need more. We need more children to be born, so I have more drinkers.
Yeah.
When they get older. But yeah, the birth rate.
Hold on,
has me a
that
little
would
worried.
be cool if you had the Muga malt or whatever you call them there.
Oh yeah,
Unsu malt. Or
Oh yeah, like I'm gonna. I'm gonna have
featured at JJ's on Burger Night or something. Come in for a Muga malt.
way
and
back in
burger.
the day. That I kind of had a plan to do that, but I was like, man, would it be illegal for me to sell?
Didn't Mr. Kim try to get you to
Jesus
brew for him?
Christ! Yeah,
Going
yeah.
back to Mr. Kim.
He did.
So I think that 15-year investment here, it's just, I mean, if you're staying, just doubling down and reinvesting maybe in a few other ways, right?
Oh yeah. Try going for the brewing, get the F visa, maybe work somewhere else. We'll see how that goes. I don't know if you know,
But even
there's
if
a
you-
good group of people out here too.
Yeah. But even if the brewing thing, I mean, the guys at Galmegi there in Busan, I mean, they do all. You can end up working as a brewmaster or something somewhere.
That'd be the thing. Like if I could learn,
Because
if
now
I could
there's-
become real good at if I could become a particularly good brewer, I guess in the same vein as Andy becoming starting out doing basic sound engineering to producing albums now.
Yeah. And that's
that's
just
a
it.
career
It's
path.
just following a couple other things
Yeah,
or investing in a couple
exactly.
other avenues and.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law has just started a brewery, and he's got it's called
Here?
no in New
Oh,
Zealand,
yeah.
yeah, and he's got his first beer out in the bars.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Pretty
not.
cool, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be something that I'd never really considered it being a long-term thing. It was just a hobby. But
That's
yeah.
where all the good.
That's
shit
kind of how it starts,
That's
right?
how it starts,
Yeah.
just two mates and
That'd be something to look into.
And there's a
but-
couple of good places to work here in town already. Not to work, but to mentor, to whatever. If
Wasu
it's
is
Wasu, Trevier.
Yeah. So speaking of Trevier and playing in the band, we played a show at the Trevier Brewery, and I was like, they gave us a tour of the brewery. I was like a kid in a
awesome.
candy store
Yeah,
out
it's
there.
awesome out there.
Like I'm looking at all stuff, I'm like, oh man, like what do you do this?
Yeah.
Is this how you get rid of that? What do you do with your excess waste, or what do you do with your grain now that it's gone?
Yeah.
Well, there's more than a few
Questions.
guys in Korea now brewing their own beer, like
Oh yeah,
properly and selling. So yeah, and you
Figure
can't
out that-
imagine everybody stays around forever. There's going to be a spot open up here or there, or whatever.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
not
that's
too
it.
many guys that would be qualified to do it, other than just the passion or the interest in learning.
Oh, yeah.
If
How
you
about
know
this?
something
if
about
you want
it.
to take a real step towards doing it, I got an email for you, or I got a website. You can book a 15-minute consultation with a lawyer for free. I got one tomorrow. I got to talk to a guy tomorrow morning about something, and just want to know like the legality or about something. So I'll give you the
Yeah, which
email.
one?
You can send him a message and see, hey, how hard is it to open a
yeah.
brewery?
How this conflict with my current beast, like what things I got to look out for?
Sure. No. Well, I mean, just in terms of someone dying after drinking a beer or something.
Oh.
You know? what's the
Drinking that
liability?
last 1 centimeter.
Yeah, it's like I accidentally sold a poison brew. What's gonna
Yeah.
happen now?
Roll a d20 and see what happens.
Oh, you failed your con save. Oh boy. Yeah, those playing
Nice.
D&D will get that one.
Nice.
yeah, but-
Any other shout outs? What do we think?
Oh, well, I was just sitting here talking about the old
Yeah.
times. I was thinking about like all the old guys that have come and gone, like Troy and Andy. Like, shout out to all those guys. Hope they're all doing good.
Absolutely, man. It's we love when they come back. We always make a special time
yeah.
for them to come by, swing by, tell the old
Oh,
stories.
yeah.
John Brown.
Oh yeah, John Brown.
Dude, John Brown was very important in the early days of We Hope. Did you know?
Really?
How much? Yeah,
What?
he was connected to the president, the current president of We Hope, and there was me and Nate were super busy back in the day, and John Brown would show up for pictures and like be that guy for us.
That sounds like him, but I had no
I
idea.
had no idea about that.
No, I mean, he would go if we had I think he showed up for a few MOUs, and he was he definitely helped in
No,
the very
that's
early
definitely
days.
that's definitely him. Like he's definitely kind of gung ho fella.
Yeah.
Like and he's got a lot of enthusiasm. Like if you were to describe the fella as like a dog, we always used to say he's like a golden retriever.
Yeah.
Just tail wagging, ready to go.
Yeah.
You know.
Nice. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Well, listen, man. That's thanks for coming, Ben. Thanks for setting it up. I hope.
Oh, yeah.
But
Thanks for letting me do this. yeah.
where were you for the past few years? Listen, we needed this, man.
Making pies.
Yeah.
Making pies and trying to find cheaper containers to get shit home to New Zealand.
Yeah, no doubt. But thank you. Thanks to both of you guys.
Appreciate it.
Always love the hang. Nate, any last?
No, if you're
any
into,
last words?
I was gonna say Airbnb.
Airbnb.
If you're into D&D or brewing or playing music, then reach out and find.
Oh yeah, please, if anybody listening does want to get involved in playing some tabletop games, or if you got something else you want to play, you're looking for people to play with, please look us up on the open chat.
It'll be in the
Ulsan.
show note description, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Hey,
a-
there you go. Show no description.
Yeah. Very nice. Awesome. Anyways, yeah. Thank you. Thanks for listening, everyone, and goodbye.
This Korean life